make money at that level.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Of course, we didn't have any employees yet, and so it was easy for us to make money at that level. And that is where it clicked to me that this is going to work. We can afford to hire an employee, and it's going to work. We can take it to the next level, which at that point was hiring one guy.
You said it was easy to make things work when it was just us two. Only from a profit and loss standpoint.
Yes.
But from a work standpoint, it was 7 days a week. We were doing deliveries on Sunday mornings sometimes. We were...
we didn't have any expenses.
Yeah. But we didn't have a life either.
No.
We had no life other than work.
See more at pennymustard.com.
But we were okay with that. That's a decision we made. That's the path we went down. We were okay with that.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
What exactly is everyone worried about? There is no difference between Gary Peters and Yabbit Dabbit Doo Islamo-Nazi. No difference, except Yabbit Dabbit Doo has better beard hair. That's it. A gateway commie and a commie. What's the difference? Facial hair. We'll discuss that and more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in our QC Kinetics newsroom. Watch out for the threat of severe weather this afternoon with a high near 82. 2 were killed in a crash along I-88 in Aurora early this morning. Illinois State Police say the crash occurred along I-88 near Eola Road. 2 vehicles involved. 1 caught fire. A man is charged in separate teen killings on Chicago's far south side. Anthony Nunnally faces 2 first-degree murder charges in shootings that happened nearly 1 year apart. The first in September of 2024, the second last October when a 19-year-old was shot near 111th and South Mackinac. Tensions remain high in the Middle East as the U.S. and Iran try to reach a peace deal.
In an interview with Fox News, the president said that talks happened all day on Tuesday and that things are looking very good. The focus remains on the Strait of Hormuz, a critical international waterway that handles roughly 20% of the world's oil and LNG trade.
Michigan Democrats now have their Senate nominee, Abdul El Sayed, the winner of the Senate primary, defeating establishment-supported Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Cubs take on the Dodgers this afternoon. White Sox at Fenway tonight. The news, a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency. Go to surroundchicago.com today. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages ending mixed on Wednesday, though the Dow notched its 24th record close of the year. But the tech-heavy NASDAQ lagged as tech stocks took a break after Tuesday's rally. The NASDAQ was under pressure from SpaceX and AMD. Elon Musk's rocket company beating second quarter earnings targets, but its heavy AI spending is raising concerns, and its stock plunged 13%. Advanced Micro Devices shares falling 7% after the chipmaker reported robust second quarter results, but Musk said that SpaceX would exclusively use NVIDIA's chips. NVIDIA gaining nearly 4% following Musk's comments, but other chip stocks retreated. The Dow winners, Goldman Sachs, Amgen, and NVIDIA. The Dow decliners, Alphabet, Caterpillar, and Amazon. The Dow up 263 points, the NASDAQ lower by 222, S&P 500 down 13. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher sees a party off the rails.
Tim Waltz doubling down on his decision to pardon a child rapist in order for the child rapist not to be deported. This is systemic in the Democrat Party. This is who they are. This is where they've landed. They're now cheering on the pardoning of convicted child rapists.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Why does Progressive help support truckers? Because truckers unite the world. Truckers unite whistles and lifeguards. Truckers unite fitness devices with people who don't exercise. Truckers unite your aunt with those live, laugh, love signs. But truckers can't do any of this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive helps safe truckers save an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
Results may vary and are not guaranteed. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. What if the person you're meant to be is just one decision away? If alcohol has become a bigger part of your life than you ever intended, maybe it's time for a fresh start. A chance to live with more purpose and more clarity. Choose Your Horizon can help. Choose Your Horizon is a discreet online program designed by a Mayo Clinic trained doctor to help you cut back or quit drinking from the privacy of your home. We provide FDA-approved medication that helps reduce alcohol cravings, along with optional coaching, health testing, and ongoing support. Whether your goal is to cut back, take control, or stop drinking completely, Choose Your Horizon lets you choose the level of support that's right for you. Choose Your Horizon is completely private and designed to fit your schedule. No rehab, no judgment, just results. A better tomorrow begins with one choice today. To get your free same-day doctor consultation, text HOPE to 54504. Text HOPE to 54504. Text HOPE to 54504 now.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's wide open on the outbound Edens. Kennedy, 50 minutes. Janeburn Interchange to O'Hare, tighten the express. Augusta to the Edens. On the Eisenhower, 1 hour and 5. Post Office to 390. Stevenson, 50. DuSable Lakeshore Drive to 355. And the outbound Ryan, 25 minutes. You'll see tie-ups on DuSable Lakeshore Drive either way. Tri-State northbound, watch out for an accident just north of Lake Cook Road. 2 right lanes are blocked. Southbound also getting snug, but the Jane Addams and the Reagan are fine. A little tight southbound 355 Army Trail to Roosevelt. And eastbound 80 crash at Wolf on the right shoulder. This report is the service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm possible, which could bring heavy downpours leading to flash flooding, especially in urban areas. The low will be 68. Thursday will have intervals of bright sunshine with a passing shower, remaining humid. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Oh, don't go, Gary Peters! You were such a great senator! Who the frack is Gary Peters? When's the last time Michigan had a non-communist, non-American Marxist scumbag Democrat, which is a communist line? The gateway communist, the American Democrat. When's the last time they did not have a Democrat senator? Squirrel, you know? 2001, a quarter century, Michigan has been represented by suck-on Democrats, which is why it gets worse and worse and worse. What are you worried about? What is different between El Said, Yabba Dabba Doo, and Gary Peters? El Said has a real good beard, you know, like the Islamo-Nazis, because he is one. A real good beard. And he, ironically, has a mustache, knowing that that non-mustache beard that the imams have, that's not going to sell. Didn't matter, though. You've been stealing elections for 100 years in Michigan, second only to Illinois and Chicago. Who gives a rip? The true face of greed. What did you expect? There are far more suck-ons and people who want to pay nothing, like a Pritzker, for health insurance, for housing, for school supplies. Ooh, school supplies. I couldn't help but remember, Squirrel. You remember? J.B. Pritzker. We're going to give a tax break. We're going to alleviate the tax man for the poor.
You know, the war in Iran, the tariffs, the federal corruption, and lax antitrust policies in Washington have caused rising prices of everything, from groceries to gas to housing to really everyday necessities. And as Illinois parents and students get ready for a new school year, everybody is feeling it. That's why the legislature and I declared a sales tax holiday for the back-to-school season. Starting this Friday, August 7th, and for 10 days until Sunday, August 16th, shoppers will pay 0 state sales tax on essentials like clothing and school supplies.
Really? Well, why did you throw out the school supplies the schools already had that were bought for by the people? Yeah, you did! See, this is what it's like when Democrats are in charge. One scumbag fat fraud pretends to be helping you to cover the story of the Chicago public school illiterate moron teachers and the asshats that work for them threw out the supplies that the Chicagoans, the Cook Countyans, the Illinoisans, and the federal government already bought because this bust-ass illiterate mill of stupidity called Chicago Public Schools threw out the school supplies in the garbage can, you fracking idiots.
Reality is sometimes what we say and what we do are different. So I decided, just on a gut feeling, to go check it out.
After discovering hundreds of school supplies discarded outside Carlos Fuentes Elementary School on the northwest side.
And what you don't see is there's really good stuff in the bottom, too.
Ashley DeBella wondered if this was an isolated case. It wasn't.
It was even labeled book dumpster. Within there, tons of our childhood classics, Dr. Seuss, different books within there. And then in the other dumpster, there was a bicycle and, a printer and some other bigger items that could have been used by some schools.
And we found the same thing. Dozens of books in the dumpster at Esmeralda Santiago Elementary School in Humboldt Park. Another one of the 5 former Acero charter schools now being absorbed by Chicago Public Schools.
This is communism. This is what it looks like. They have no fracking idea what money is, what entitlements are. They throw out the necessities, then pretend to give you a break as they make you go buy new ones. So what's the difference between Al Saeed and fat J.B. Pritzker? Al Saeed had to pay his own property taxes. He didn't pretend his wife ripped out the toilet to not pay the taxes. And that's the difference. And facial hair. And El Saeed can do a jumping jack. Pritzker, not a fracking chance. Governor Camel Toe can't do anything. But he pretends that he's helping the people. What's the difference between J.B. Pritzker, between Brandon Johnson, and a commie? Anybody? Anybody! And the answer is nothing. You've been pretending for decades that every Democrat is not a communist. Well, what's the difference? Free health care, free housing, free food, blah, 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 blah. Here's the difference. They just admit it now, the way they did way back in the 70s.
The communist vote is a vote for life. A vote for the communist ticket, it is a vote to end racism, to all forms of discrimination. It is a vote for jobs, a vote for decent income, a home for everyone, for full equality of women, especially on the job. It is a vote for free child care centers and for working mothers a 6 months maternity leave with full pay. It is a vote for free quality medical care, hospital care for all who need it. It is a vote for free college education for all regardless of income. We have the materials, we have the manpower to build a decent home for every family. We can build enough schools and hospitals. If we can have modern mass transit systems. We can eliminate poverty and want. We can do all this. We can provide these services only if we eliminate corporate profits as the kingpin on the list of priorities.
No difference. There never has been between the American Democrat Party and the Communists. The reason this was a scandal back in the 70s, you see, we were fresh from sending our boys, and back then we didn't send girls, sending our boys to kill communists and socialists. We're right out of wars. World War II, killing socialists and commies. Vietnam, socialists and commies. Right now, Vietnam calls themselves the Democrat Socialist Party, just like the Democrats do. Just like the frackin' rat Democrats.
And Manu. Thank you. Is the rise of the DSA good for your party? Look, we are a big tent party. And being...
Your tent smells like a dog's ass. Your tent smells like Barack Obama and Michelle Obama's underwear drawer. Your tent is full of commies and socialists. And by the way, scum. True scum.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay.
That's this useless Islamo-Nazi punk. Never worked. You would kill Rick Scott if you cared about Medicare fraud. You see, Medicare and Medicaid are all fraud. And it's all communism that you've been pretending isn't. Yes, it is. And now you will cover every degenerate roach rat pig that refuses to work, shoot heroin into their arms, and every other Democrat wannabe out there. You will do it because you have been pretending that for a century you haven't already been dealing with communists. What's El Sayed Yabba Dabba Do is no worse than Barack Obama. He's no worse than Gary Peters. He's no worse than little tiny Dick Durbin or any other moron running in the clown car for Chicago mayor, like the visionary.
The people of Chicago want and called for a visionary. That's what I reflect.
He's a visionary with a $37,000 hairdo, a $6,500 suit. And when before he got elected, he couldn't pay the water. He's a thief like every Democrat. See, they just want to steal your money in the name of their need. Like a Marxist, they pretend. But not really, because all they want is money, which is why they throw out the school supplies, which is why they always waste the money. $3 billion to CPS. Hundreds of millions of dollars have vanished into the air. And now you're going to pretend you got an emergency problem? You've been bankrupt for a decade, for 5 decades. And the more it goes up, the less the kids can read. You know why, Squirrel? Because the teachers can't read, and they certainly can't do math.
Good morning, Andrina. Well, it was less than a week ago that Chicago school board members went into this building and tossed out a budget proposal that included 1,600 layoffs. Instead, they passed a plan with no staff cuts that relies on funding that hasn't been approved in Springfield yet.
The state has to do its part. I've been clear that I'm always going to do my part.
This thieving, bust-out scumbag. Is your part what? Begging in a $6,500 suit? Stealing from people who never want to go to the ghettos you represent? What exactly is your part? Oh, I know, Squirrel. His part is helping to be a developer of homeless encampments, which are thriving in our once great city.
Well, residents in a Northwest Side neighborhood never expected a homeless encampment to remain in place for more than a year now.
Why wouldn't you expect it? Did you or did you not elect a Democrat communist thieving pig? Then expect not just that, but more. There is no difference between Brandon Johnson and El Sayed, except El Sayed definitely has better facial hair. So far, when it comes to facial hair, the Islamo-Nazi goat Casanova way in the lead.
Not only have the number of tents grown, but so has the trash. Take a look.
Crazy over here.
Well, trash and Democrats, that's hand in glove. That's what they are. That's how they live. Anybody ever go in a Section 8 apartment? Anybody. I mean, aside from the TV, when you watch the Potemkin Section 8 apartment, you ever look at a real one, real low-income housing? It's fracking low. And you know how you know? Because the people who demand it, they live low, like another Chicago traffic stop yesterday. Only this time, he's a drug addict scumbag who has vomit on his shirt. He's got a knapsack with all of his items in there. He's been high on crack since 1997, and he also fits the description of a burglar in the area.
Karen, in a major development in federal court.
I got my thing recorded. I got my shit recorded. Y'all jumped out on him for what? Y'all had no probable cause to jump out on him.
Probable cause? Is that Ben Crump? See if he can read. If he can't, he might be Ben Crump.
No crime. What are y'all jumping out on him for? What are y'all jumping out on him for? He's walking. He's walking.
He ain't
What
doing
are y'all
nothing.
jumping out on him for?
Forget about the fact that they have an APB. Fits the description of a scumbag who robbed somebody. He's got a little vomit on his shirt, and he's clearly a crackhead, or as it's known in Chicago, a citizen.
You ain't got to do nothing, bro. You ain't got to submit to nothing. You ain't commit no crime, brother. You didn't commit no crime.
So when you got to pay for the health care and the housing, this is the scum right here. More crime and chaos and homeless encampments than at any time in Chicago history. What's the big deal about a commie? What's the frackin' difference? There is none. Mao Zedong.
And I assure you, I will be fighting to protect every single Wisconsinite
because she'll love you hung time. I was waiting for her to say it, Squirrel. She didn't say it.
The only candidate in this race who will meet ICE with the force and fury required to keep us all safe.
The force and the fury. Are we going to war? Say when. I've been waiting, Squirrel. Please say when. Can it be tomorrow? Here's one thing I agree with this commie whore who reminds me of Finding Nemo every time I look at that fish head face of hers. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
Francesca Hong wants to run Wisconsin with a $364.1 billion GDP, but the only enterprise she's ever run was a restaurant, which she ran into the ground. But what she lacks in real-world management experience, Hong makes up for in racial grievance peddling.
My proximity to whiteness continues, right? My son is biracial. He's half white and half Korean. And I think navigating, what his identity is and how people perceive him is always at the back of my mind.
The need to address racial justice more urgently now more than ever. In the service industry, our industry really did come from it and kind of is rooted in white supremacy.
The service industry is rooted, Squirrel, in white supremacy. So you know what her answer is? And I agree 100% with her. No more tipping. I agree. The idea that I could possibly give my money to an American communist saboteur sickens me. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1796, George Washington made one of the most consequential decisions in American history. He chose not to seek a third term as president. So why does that matter? Because America was not built on permanent rulers. It was built on ordered liberty. Faith teaches that authority is a stewardship, not a possession. Leaders are accountable to God for how they use power. And why does that still matter today? Because republics survive when leaders respect limits and citizens defend them. Washington's lesson still stands. A republic is preserved when power has limits, and public service remains a duty to God and country, not a path to personal rule.
Now that summer is here, it's time for some summer home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call CenterGuard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation, with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560. You'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with CenterGuard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive summer special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit CenterGuardPlumbing.com.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Death to America and butter sauce. Don't boil me. I'm still alive. Iraq lobster.
Ooh! Saeed's a communist. That's the least of his problems. He's an Islamo-Nazi. All Democrats are communists. Glenn in Orlando.
Yeah, Shaun, you know, with the fires in Madison, after they took out the protester stuff and the fire at the federal building in New York and that idiot with the 8 Molotov cocktails in his backpack, we're definitely heading towards civil war.
Well, I think to deny the fact that we've always been in a cold civil war. I mean, every policy that strips one member of society in the name of others is an act of war when it comes to American principles. That's my biggest argument with the whole system. The whole system is set up so that socialism, no matter what degree, is unconstitutional. Yet here you are. So the natural progression is clearly war, only by those who want to stop being robbed or those who feel that they're going to stop having the ability to take someone else's assets. That's it. It's always been a war. It's a war of the conscience. Anyway, you have all of these Democrats. What do they want? Something for nothing. Whether they enslave the provider or they steal the money from his neighbor to pay for it, they don't give a rip. What do they want? I want free rent. I want free food. I want free education. I want free health care. This is the true face of greed. And what happens when someone comes in your house to rob you? You have two choices. You can let them or you can fight back. Now, you pretend you could fight back through an election rigged by what? Thieving moron scum. Michigan was essential in the election theft of 2020. Are we going to pretend they had an election yesterday? Right here with your election results. I don't give a frack what you tell me. No matter what it is, you stole it. End of story. There was no election. It was a selection. Ooh, it's a real nail biter. It's down to the wire. 1 point. Oh, my God. If only it wasn't for that handful of Islamo-Nazi sympathizers. We were this close to having Chris Farley win. Still another fracking rat Democrat. So what is your real disagreement with Yabba Dabba Doo versus Gary Peters? Here, look at it this way. Gary Peters was on all the financial committees. Yes, he was. And all the money that was created to be stolen since Barack Obama was laid on his Chrysler 300, get it from a half-ass gangster in the first ward, that $30 trillion that was created to be stolen, he rubber-stamped it. Just like Klobuchar in Minnesota, just like little tiny Dick Durbin, except for the money that was going to go right to his wife, the lobbying firm. If she lobbied for that Naperville, you're going to get the money. Scumbags! One and all of you. What do you think of that, squirrel? Because this is the thing. You pretended it wasn't real. You've been dealing with communists that you could bribe for short money, and you were okay with it. Now, what are you concerned with? That these are the real deals? You mean like Barack Obama? Don't worry. He's got a couple seaside estates. He'll go away, married the Bigfoot, taking bats with Alexi Giannoulias. They're all good. Never forget who you've always rubber-stamped.
Welcome to Pig's Eye Encampment, population 250 plus. Located in St. Paul, Minnesota, this disgusting tent city was scheduled to be cleared out. Hallelujah, right? Not so fast. The liberals in town are pissed and want to stop that from happening?
It's the 11th hour for these advocates outside St. Paul City Hall.
The police aren't tied to you guys in a nice, neat bow.
Same thing, same transvestites, same commies, New York, Chicago, New Jersey, Minnesota, all brought to you by politicians who designed these policies to be frauded, every single one of them.
This is just straight from the numbers that we pulled, and these are the numbers that have the most amount of money and have the most amount of suspicious activity going on. So altogether, that place has made upwards of $20 million, whoever is the business owner of Hydro Seam and Sunrise Adult Daycare. whether that's one person or a partner. That's a lot of money within just this one.
Now, New York has the same prosecutors, the same commie-sympathizing Democrat rat prosecutors, the same judges, not just the ones that railroaded Trump. The same ones in Minnesota that let the Somalian pirates get off without a felony. They say they collected $92 million. They haven't collected $3 million. So they also got away with the money. And what's the prognosis for the Communist Party disguised as the conventional old Democrats? Well, this whore, Amy Klobuchar, this slimy, sleazy, rubber stamp thieving whore, she's got a good shot at being the governor, too.
The people of Minnesota were ripped off. This was wrong, and it should have been caught earlier. When I found out, I put more resources into the U.S.
When you found out, you've been elected since you could do a jumping jack, you old hag. You wrinkled old hag with your ass on the back of your knees now. You were elected when it was up high. You just found out. That's the other thing. Like Brandon Johnson. We're going to have a 5-year plan. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. We start tomorrow. And every moron out there who wants their rent paid, they could give a rip.
Attorney's office, and I was the one that recommended Andy Lugar, who is a prosecutor who exposed the fraud and was the one that brought 70 of these cases. My plan as governor will be to do this.
Here's what you really got to worry about. The talk of the only thing saving our republic. These areas littered with these constituents of chaos and commies and thieves, these greedy, never paid their rent or for their food. They'll vote for a pickle. It doesn't matter. The only thing saving us is the Electoral College, which is why side saddle Pete Buttigieg, mayor of your ass, he wants to destroy it like every other Democrat.
I actually think it's something we need.
And you scrap the Electoral College?
Totally. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is one where just as a matter of basic, fundamental fairness, I don't see how you get to the idea that any one voter should have a greater vote than another voter.
I'm going to tell you right now, on the day that they nuke the Electoral College, that is the declaration of war. And on the next day, we go to war. 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. When people call us, they're often dealing with something overwhelming. An inherited home full of belongings, parent needing senior living, managing an estate while juggling everything else in life. Here's what our sellers have to say after working with us. The very thought of hiring an agent, a cleanup crew, and dealing with months of uncertainty was overwhelming. But Jeff's team gave me permission to just leave it all. I took what mattered and they handled everything else. Another seller wrote, even my Medicaid specialist said Jeff Buys Your House is the name to trust. They gave me a fair price without the traditional real estate headache. And this one, they handled every hiccup. Title issues, paperwork, estate complications. I finally felt relieved. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led team has earned hundreds of 5-star reviews for its professionalism, compassion, and seamless service. No repairs and no cleanout. Take your memories with you and we'll take care of the rest. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. As most Americans know, the Democratic Party has begun a dangerous flirtation with the Democratic Socialists of America. What's shocking is how far and how fast the rot has spread. To his credit, Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi is pushing back with a pledge called the Promise to America. Its 3 core principles are simple common sense. We're capitalist, not socialist. We want safety, not lawlessness. And we're proud, not ashamed of America. Here's the disturbing part. Of the 212 House Democrats, only 13 have signed on. That tells you how mainstream socialist ideas have become in the Democratic Party and how radicals have intimidated the moderates. It's shocking that these simple principles are now controversial in a major American political party. That should concern every voter who values freedom. Let's hope it's a wake-up call.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm coming back, and I'm rarely excited to come back because, you know, it's run by scum when I'm talking about Illinois. Absolute and total. Cook County, oh, God. Ass-face Procwinkle, and then you listen to all the news clips of every roach Democrat, and the limp-wristed fight by what is supposed to be the Illinois Republican Party. So we need to come together for our family party where I give you hours of low-life, scumbag-free environment. We do the show live, happening August 28th, right behind the West Inn in Itasca, Lakeside Pavilion. We have tables set up of everybody who helps the station and the show. We're going to have cigars there. Bands are going to be there. I had somebody ask if there was going to be a band. We have a band that's going to entertain. We also have somebody else who's going to sing the national anthem. Every guest I interview will be live, and all we need is for all of us to come together. Now, we need you to register so we know how much food to have ready for you. It turns out we've upped it, about 6 different times now. We're in good territory, very good territory, but we have room for more, as it's a huge venue, and I can't wait to see you there. Go to 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest, SHAUN. There will be food available. There will be drinks available. More importantly, it's a summer wrap-up of the decent people surrounded by the indecent, the overtaxed surrounded by the people who don't pay taxes. This is us, that 1/3 of society that makes all societies function, versus the warts and the leeches that continue to suck off of us when it comes to entitlements. So everybody there is going to be good people. All happening on the 28th of August. See you there. 560theanswer.com/SHAUNFEST. Sponsored in part. We're going to have Randy Donnelly's going to be there. We've got Arlington Pipe and Tobacco. We've got Virago, Dr. Huber, leaving-l.com, State Farm Insurance, Anthony DeGrotto. Hochberg will be there. Unique Wooden Flags. Class A Insurance, owned by Tommy and TJ Iaquenta. They'll all be there. EJ and Tony's going to be there. It's just going to be a fantastic time. When we get back, Leela, you'll be first. 312-642-5600 if you care to participate. After Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in our QC Kinetics newsroom. Cloudy and humid this afternoon with some heavy downpours possible and a high of 82. One person hospitalized in serious condition after a fire broke out overnight at a downtown high-rise. Chicago Fire say the blaze broke out late last night in the 400 block of East Ohio. Michigan Democrats now have their Senate nominee, Abdul El Sayed, the winner of yesterday's Democrat Senate primary.
The former public health official ran on a populist platform, campaigning on Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, and touting endorsements from progressives, including Bernie Sanders.
El Sayed defeating establishment-supported Congresswoman in Michigan, Haley Stevens. The Bears locked down a right tackle, Darnell Wright, 4 years, $116 million. Cubs take on the Dodgers today, while the White Sox are back at Fenway tonight. The news, a service of the AM 560 store. T-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. Your next news update is at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the afternoon commute. In the traffic center, here's Jill Urchak.
It's wide open on the outbound Edens, but there is a crash reported inbound Kennedy at Lawrence. It's an hour going in, back out to O'Hare, also an hour. And the outbound Eisenhower, 50 to Wolf Road, hour and 10 out to 390. Stevenson to Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355, just under an hour on that. Inbound Ryan at Sable Semi on the shoulder at 35th. It is an 18-minute ride inbound, 25 outbound. The express lane's tight 43rd to Marquette. Inbound 57, watch for an accident at 111. Also tight outbound side of the Bishop Ford, 115th to Sibley. And that is all due to construction. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive both directions. Crash eastbound Jane Addams at Meacham. Blocking the right lane. It's busy southbound Tri-State North looks good. Southbound 355 snug, but the Reagan is in good shape. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect cloudy skies with high humidity and a chance of a thunderstorm. These storms may bring heavy rainfall, increasing the risk of flash flooding, particularly in cities. The temperature will drop to 68 degrees. Moving into Thursday, there will be intervals of sunshine with a passing shower. It'll remain humid with a high of 79 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Hey, sorry to hear your mom passed away.
Thanks. A lot of work to do settling her assets?
Actually, she prepared a living trust. Makes this process simple.
Yeah, I set up a will for my kids. Should make it easy.
Well, unless your assets are small, your kids will have to go to court to settle your will.
So, where do I get a living trust?
Nauman and Associates. They prepare wills and trusts for a flat fee. No surprises.
Nauman and Associates in Elk Grove Village?
That's right. NALawGroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling your firearms? Get top dollar from national collectors. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, boy. I've been punching the face to this song, Squirrel. Like, I bet you 30 times I've been punching the face to this song. Just listening to it makes my nose run. Oh, Gary Peters! Don't go, Gary! You were such a good rat pig Democrat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you to our witnesses here today. I want to begin by first echoing my colleagues' comments that we've heard throughout the hearing here and join them in mourning the loss of American service members who were killed in action these last few days. My thoughts are with their families, with a service member who remains missing, and with all those injured during the strikes.
He is not talking about the 13 that were killed during the botched Afghanistan where Joe Biden was on a changing table, and then when he had to show up to the bodies, he kept checking his watch. He's not talking about them. He's talking about the ones that fit the narrative of the Democrat scourge.
And I will continue to pray for their families.
Yeah, sure you will.
Secretary Hegseth,
Beelzebub?
Over the course of the war with Iran, I have repeatedly expressed concerns regarding the administration's lack of a winning strategy and repeated contradictions about the state of the war. It frankly doesn't help that you and your president continues to mislead the American people. You and the president have repeatedly said that the war, as we've heard over and over again, is almost over or already won. In fact, the president alone has said the war is almost over.
Oh, Gary, don't go. When it comes to Ukraine funding, this pig, I'd like to check your coffers before you vacate. How much money did you skim? Is it more or less than your average scumbag Republican? Leela, Glen Ellen.
Yes. Hi. I just want to tell you, you're coming to Itasca. I can't wait for Shaun Fest. It's so exciting. I just want to know how early I should get there, and I'm going to stay till real late.
I'll be there at 3.
I need your professional advice. 3? All right, I'll be there because you're a man in Naples that sells realty. I need to bend your ear on Cape Coral property. My friends of over 50 years are down there. I'm moving down there this fall. I'm getting out of this hellhole.
Oh,
but I can't wait to meet you and greet you.
Oh, me either. And you go to Big 8 Barbecue. My guy Bill runs it. Greatest guy, great food. I'll set you all up, kid. I can't wait to meet you. Look, I'll see you there. Thank you very much.
Okay, see you then.
Thank you. You know, as long as we don't get the Republicans that sucked as politicians, like Jim Oberweis, who has inundated the airwaves. You know, I think he sold the company, Squirrel. Cash out! And at 80 years old, he wants to be the freshman congressman from Naples, Florida, along with 17 other morons. I mean, it is unbelievable, but it's good for real estate. Real estate is booming down here as opposed to everywhere else in Democrat-run areas where people are leaving buildings because of chaos and ghetto living, brought to you by every Democrat.
When you campaigned for this job, you talked about the value of relationships and relationship building. Yeah. When you have these relationships fracturing, I mean, by virtue of people leaving their job, relationships have fractured. I mean, that's sort of a baseline understanding. The relationships that existed with counsel no longer are there with Ms. Guzman and a whole list of others that Marianne just enumerated. Is there no net effect of that?
Annette Guzman going to take care of her mother. It's not a fractured relationship.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Hold on a second. That's what you said, though.
Well, no. I didn't say her leaving. I'm saying the list that Marianne enumerated.
The totality. You know, the people who are fleeing in case of an audit, somebody looks at the books and they say, it would appear you stole hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID money, not just in Chicago public schools, you thief. Eduardo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thank you, Shaun. You know, my 401k is doing very well under President
Are you going to Sizzler?
I am so glad. I'm so glad that Cory Bush got blown out in Missouri. That made my week.
Cory Bush, is she the best?
If you think you might commit sexual assault, always carry a whistle. When you find yourself about to commit sexual assault, blow the whistle until someone else stops you.
Somebody should have gave Bill Clinton that whistle. Not the dumbest Democrat roach from a ghetto, but she was one of the most entertaining. So it's fantastic to see her. Here's the other thing. Didn't her husband, another scallywag, not like Ayanna Pressley, I don't think he got a $2 billion contract, but I remember him getting a couple million. You know, they all have to get the husbands because they're convicts. They don't have a bright future in front of them, and they're connected, and they have to put up with that stank. So they might as well get something, Eduardo. It's not that I can't sympathize with it. You know what I mean? Did you ever see Cory Bush Squirrel? Yardstick of ass crack. Corey, Woodlawn.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, Shaun. You know, I don't understand why more Americans aren't upset, especially the middle class. What these socialists have in store for us, I mean, they're going to take our property by force, and they're going to force us to live what they want us to. Where is the outrage?
So I think you're underestimating because it's not on the news. But this is my world. All right, these are my guys, and I talk to them repeatedly. You'd be amazed how many phone calls. And the problem is the middle class now has been brought to heel, and it was done through Obamacare, which is why we can never let that go. The destruction to the wealth of this country that communist pig fraud, Barack Obama, and the scum that wrote it, like Hans Gruber's cousin, Jonathan Gruber, the frauds that wrote it to backdoor nationalize the health care, drive up massive insurance costs, and then leave the good people, the chosen people he didn't want to cover, hanging to pay the difference, has bankrupted a tremendous amount of people. And you're not hearing that, and those are the people that are being timid because they cannot afford to move. You know how many people can't afford to get away? Can't afford it. Haven't been able to afford it for years, right? Because what are you going to do? You got your money coming in. You're making the bills. The taxes are going up. Everything's going up. It's 5 times more expensive to live in Illinois than it is in Indiana. But you're in Illinois. And you got to put your kid through private school, and you got to do this. You and I have shuffled the money. When you really make your money honestly, you got to be very, very prudent. You got to be very, very decisive. And you don't have the extra money to go and buy something and leg out until you do. And that's what happens to people. And before you know it, you're in the quicksand. And then you're on this ghetto care. Your deductible is $15,000, and your kid comes down with something, whether she gets pregnant or he needs a surgery or whatever the case is, and you don't have the $15,000. Now you got to figure out what to do. And now you're in a cash crunch. You know, rich people used to call it a cash flow problem. In Melrose Park, it's called broke. And people better look out when Melrose Parkers get broke. So this is what you got to understand. It's the intended bankruptcy that Obamacare was. This is why the fight against it was big, but they sustained it, right? They covered up, they put their back on the rope, and they took the shots, and they stole the elections. And now you've got communism where you pretend we're offended at communism. What is more communist than Obamacare? Is there anything? It leaves off the illusion of insurance. It's not insurance. It's there to bankrupt you. They know exactly how to bankrupt you. And they don't talk about the millions of businesses out of business. But moreover, they don't talk about the millions of people who have been cast onto Medicaid. Because that was always the intention. So this is why you don't get frazzled as they try to play you. Well, there's a lot of communists in the Democrat Party. A communist already was the president. He was married to a big-footed broad. Very ugly. Thank you very much, Corey. Always was intended to do just what it did.
Obamacare was a lie from the beginning. They knew it was. They actively told lies in order to take over a third of the U.S. economy. Yep. Yes. And it has gone downhill ever since. What you don't know about Obamacare is that it has utterly destroyed the free market system.
Oh, yes.
You've got the people who wrote the ACA. It wasn't written by Democrats. Nope. It was written by big pharmaceutical companies, big insurance companies, big hospital providers.
Yeah.
The unholy trinity got together and said, how can we create a system whereby trillions of dollars of taxpayer money will flow directly into our pockets?
Yes.
And that's what they did.
Yes.
Under ACA, it is no longer legal for doctors to go form their own hospital group. They can't.
Communist! You already had one in the White House. Don't worry about a bust-out senator from Michigan. Michigan's already bankrupt. We'll be back.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, do your homework. Once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey, it's Dan Proft. Before you schedule surgery, get a second opinion from my friends at QC Kinetics. I personally recommend them. Whether you're dealing with pain from bone-on-bone arthritis, torn meniscus, or years of wear and tear, surgery isn't your only conversation. Talk to Dr. Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics. They use regenerative treatments to deliver relief to patients like you. You'll start with a medical evaluation, reviewing your history, any imaging, and the actual source of pain. If you're a good candidate, they'll concentrate tiny healing tools within your body right in the spot that's causing pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off on surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. Don't accept surgery as your only option. Call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion. The conversation and consultation are free, and weekend appointments are available. Call 312-827-6261. Again, 312-827-6261. Once more, call 312-827-6261.
If moving safely around your home is a concern, you deserve clear answers, not a sales pitch. Access will help you improve home accessibility with practical solutions like lifts, grab bars, and home modifications, designed to fit your home, your needs, and budget. Experienced professionals will take the time to explain your options so you can make an informed decision. If staying safe and comfortable in your home matters to you, start with a free in-home consultation. Call Access at 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
MyPillow is celebrating our country's 250th anniversary with savings up to 50% off their made-in-the-USA products. For example, get the queen size premium MyPillow for $18.98 and the king size for just $1 more. Get body pillows with a free pillowcase for only $39.98. Get the MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99 and $80 off the MyCross. All made right here in the USA. But there is so much more. In fact, they have over 200 products. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Chicago or call 800-489-0201 to check out all of the great products they are offering. Get everything from MyPillow blankets, sleepwear, kitchen towels, mattresses, duvets, pet beds, comforters, couch pillows, bathrobes, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code Chicago to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
You need shirts, hats, polos, and you need them now. That's Your Wearable Words. Embroidery, heat transfers, custom printing. No big minimums, no big waits. Whether it's 50 polos for your team or 100 hats for your next event, their machines are running around the clock to get it done fast. Your Wearable Words is right here in Chicagoland, ready to ship directly to you. Your Wearable Words gets it stitched and delivered. Get started at yourwearablewords.com and order today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, not a communist. Point to a Democrat that's not one. Anybody? Anybody? Pick a major city. Which one's not a commie? Boston, commie. Boy, oh boy, Philly, commie. Pick one. Pick one. You're afraid of something that's already here. It's like being Barack Obama and saying, boy, I hope I don't bump into an ugly woman tonight. There she is. George, Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, Brandon Johnson is a visionary with anxiety attacks. What kind of visions is he having?
Well, I think he's doped up enough now where he's got, no one's going to find out about him and that Stacey Abrams chick. And speaking of ugly, did you take a look at Mrs. Johnson?
The people of Chicago want and called for a visionary. That's what I reflect.
And the people of Chicago are the ones that want to stop the police from arresting the scum. And the reason is they're scum too.
Minority drivers stopped and searched by CPD will now be part of a lawsuit challenging the legality of the police tactic.
Don't stop anybody anymore. What's the point? When you stop them, you see what happens.
I got my thing recorded. I got my shit recorded. Y'all jumped out on him for what? Y'all had no probable cause to jump out on him. He wasn't committing no crime. What are y'all?
The only part that's really aggravating, we pay all this. All this is us, not just the reimbursements, the federal government. Chicago's broke ass busted. Cook County's busted. Illinois is busted. All reimbursements. And on top of it, grants. Grants. So when an illegal alien is driving the wrong way down the street and runs India, like this guy.
Aurora is charged with first-degree murder, accused of deliberately driving the wrong way on the Dan Ryan to scare a woman during an argument. Prosecutors say that 29-year-old Juan Ruiz Huerta picked up 28.
Three-namer, gets in an argument with the girlfriend, kills her, and injures another woman because he wanted to drive the wrong way on the Dan Ryan at 80 miles an hour. Brilliant. Who brought his ass here?
According to Charla's tax filing from fiscal 2023, the group reported receiving about $34 million in government grants. In its capacity as a legal services provider, Charla helps illegal immigrants, including those convicted of crimes, avoid deportation.
So they take our money, and they paid our scumbag, slimy lawyers like that whore in Berwyn who bought a pink jet. You can't make it up. It's absolutely perfect system. And that's how $30 trillion is added in the form of debt since Barack Obama implemented the greatest gift to commies ever, Obamacare.
Where do our health insurance costs go up every year? Can we get 1 year where it's steady or, God forbid, they go down? And the reason for that is it was designed that way. There's something called, in the Affordable Care Act, called the medical loss ratio. The medical loss ratio means that insurance companies must spend between 80 to 85% of all premium dollars on medical services. That means they're limited to 15 to 20% for administrative overhead and profit. So that means that they play a little game. The higher the top line is, the bigger that number is. So now,
which is why nobody cares when one community in Flushing, New York, one block steals $25 million annually since Obamacare. And if you span it to a mile, it's $125 million that just the Chinese in Flushing, New York were stealing from us.
26,000 patients. Don't touch me.
So why are you camera me?
I gotta call 911.
Your facility received something like $30 million
for Medicaid between 2018 to 2024.
I really don't know that.
So I'm standing outside of Living Well's social adult daycare in Flushing, Queens. And according to Medicaid data, this facility has 26,000 patients and has billed Medicaid $27.47 million between 2018 and 2024.
It's a room. And you know who washed the money? The very same bank that debanked Donald Trump. They allowed a Chinese national to open a bank account, bill the federal government $26 million, and the banker said nothing, just like in Scarface. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Huber. During cold and flu season, a nearby cough or sneeze can trigger a familiar dread, that helpless feeling of being defenseless against an invisible viral threat. But what if you could change the narrative? What if you could fortify your body's natural defenses? This is why I developed Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail designed to give your body the upper hand. Virago is more than a supplement. It's a revolutionary liquid formula packed with 23 powerful natural nutraceuticals for rapid absorption. This unique blend is scientifically crafted to help build resilience and keep you protected. Don't just hope for good health. Make it happen with Virago. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
Virago. Order your bottle today online at myvirago.com and use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com. Coupon code IMMUNE.
Hey, it's Shaun Thompson. You know, one day it's market volatility. The next day it's conflict overseas. Price jumps, confidence drops, and suddenly retirement feels less certain. When the latest headline pushes costs higher and stokes inflation fears, it can have a ripple effect on your investments and your budget. But here's the thing. Retirement shouldn't depend on perfect timing or on the latest geopolitical noise. Tom Fortino and the Alpha Wealth Group help families right here in the Chicago area build a plan to create income you can't outlive, control taxes, minimize risk, protect your assets, and prepare an estate and legacy plan. It's their 5-pillar retirement planning. Ready to learn more? To get your complimentary retirement roadmap and a retirement analysis today, schedule a meeting with Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group by calling 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711, or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1796, George Washington made one of the most consequential decisions in American history. He chose not to seek a third term as president. So why does that matter? Because America was not built on permanent rulers. It was built on ordered liberty. Faith teaches that authority is a stewardship, not a possession. Leaders are accountable to God for how they use power. And why does that still matter today? Because republics survive when leaders respect limits and citizens defend them. Washington's lesson still stands. A republic is preserved when power has limits, and public service remains a duty to God and country, not a path to personal rule.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
I have had the pleasure of talking to our next guest before. He is exactly who we need to talk to today. Author of Multi-Front War, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russia, Scamdemics. It's pandemics, but it's going to be scamdemics by the time we're done interviewing Kenneth Abramowitz after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, cloudy and humid, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high of 82. A man is charged in separate teen killings on Chicago's far south side. Anthony Nunnally faces 2 first-degree murder charges in shootings that happened nearly 1 year apart. The first in September of 2024, the second last October, when a 19-year-old was killed near 111th and South Mackinac. Tensions remain high in the Middle East as the U.S. and Iran try to broker a peace deal. Fox's Trey Yingst is in Tel Aviv.
The Israelis are conducting new airstrikes against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon after what were described to Fox News as severe ceasefire violations. This does come as President Trump says he believes a deal with Iran could be reached as early as today.
Meanwhile, Iran-backed Houthis say they attacked an oil tanker in the Red Sea. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson losing a second high-profile financial staffer inside of a week. Annette Guzman is resigning to take care of an aging parent. Cubs and Dodgers this afternoon. White Sox at Fenway tonight. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks ending mixed as Iran peace progress lifted the Dow for a third day with the blue chip index notching its 24th record close of the year. However, the Nasdaq rally stalled as shares of SpaceX and AMD slide. Shares of Elon Musk's SpaceX tumbling over 13% as AI spending fears overshadow its revenue surge. An AMD stock dropping 7% as the strong forecast falls short of investors' expectations. Iran peace hopes pushing oil prices lower and calming inflation worries, with West Texas intermediate crude settling over $75 a barrel. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks were mostly lower, led by Alphabet, its stock falling 4% after the company announced a shakeup in its AI division. The Dow up 263 points, the Nasdaq lower by 222, S&P 500 down 13. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Why does Progressive help support truckers? Because truckers unite the world. Truckers unite whistles and lifeguards. Truckers unite fitness devices with people who don't exercise. Truckers unite your aunt with those live, laugh, love signs. But truckers can't do any of this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive helps safe truckers save an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers exclude mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
So your next 5 minutes could be your most productive 5 minutes in years, at least when it comes to your finances anyway. That's all it takes to find out exactly how much you'll save joining MediShare versus what you're paying now for healthcare. It's very typical for people to find out they can save hundreds a month, thousands a year. The typical family saves up to $500 a month. And healthcare sharing is different for sure. It's refreshing different. We know from member surveys, people love saving the money, of course, but they also just like MediShare more than what they were doing before for healthcare costs. And it's not a new thing. It's been proven for more than 30 years. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are part of this. So call them now. They are great to talk to. And very quickly, you'll find out what you can save. You can get your questions answered. Your next 5 minutes could mean saving hundreds a month, month after month. And here is the number. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here is another check of your afternoon trip, beginning with the Kennedy downtown to O'Hare. That is still an hour, while the outbound Edens remains to be clear. On the Eisenhower, give yourself an hour to 390. Stevenson, 40 minutes out to the Tri-State, 50 out to 355. Outbound Dan Ryan, 35, stop and go on the Express. 35th to Marquette, and I-57 inbound, still an accident to watch for at 111th. Sluggish outbound Ford between the roadwork 115th to Beaubien Woods. To Saba Lakeshore Drive southbound Tri-State heavy. Jane Addams and Reagan look good, and southbound 355 is also snug. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm possible, which could bring heavy downpours leading to flash flooding, especially in urban areas. The low will be 68. Thursday will have intervals of bright sunshine with a passing shower, remaining humid. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
As we fight back against the rise of the Islamo-Nazi in America, this is the best guest to discuss it. He's been fighting this since he was very successful in his own right. He didn't need to do this, but he understood how important it is. It's a fight of good versus absolute evil. I don't know what's so hard to communicate. Neither does my author, as he writes books constantly. The latest one, The Multi-Front War, Defending America from Political Islam. Kenneth Abramowitz, how are you?
Great to be with you. Thank you.
You know, it's really interesting to me, and I say this to you because we have a luxury in this country. We're born like little spoiled children, little spoiled, entitled brats. We're given liberty and property rights and security and safety and righteousness. You know, I always think back to how the country was really built, right? I mean, it wasn't the government in Washington, D.C. that said, we're going to hang horse thieves. It was the people, the citizens, who enforced their own law, understood the rule of law, and understood that without the citizens having property rights over their own life, they would only be slaves to a government. So we grew up sequestered from the reality, the harsh realities of what these theocracies, of what these dictatorships really represent. So as you watch the rise of theocrats, dictators, communists, and socialists, it's only because the American citizen who was born into luxury was too lazy to understand the problem. Don't you think?
Well, there's a whole variety of things that went wrong, all of which can be fixed. But basically, we lost control over our educational system. The K through 12, plus the teachers' colleges, plus the universities. And the dictatorships, of which I focus on three of them, or three color-coded groups of dictatorships: the Reds, the Greens, and the Blues. The Reds are the communists, Greens are the Islamists, Blues are the globalists. Those alien dictatorships attacked, not physically, culturally attacked our schools, our teachers unions, and corrupted them. And we weren't watching closely enough. We saw this mess during the Zoom period of time during COVID, that we saw that the teachers were teaching nonsense to our kids. But that was 50 years too late. They've been teaching nonsense for 2 generations now. And that's why the younger folks are voting with such bizarre patterns that are un-American.
So I'm going to tell you, I think a lot of this information, and I say this, Ken, being from Chicago, which is the nucleus of American gangster, commie, mafia government. And when you have these particular individuals, because, you know, you and I know, there isn't really anything called a government. It's just people with arbitrary power we surrender to. When you have these lowest form of thieves, these self-enriching, self-aggrandizing mafia members, there's no such thing as an election. Chicago has bragged all of my life about stealing the presidential election of 1960. Elections in my neighborhood, elections in Cook County, they're an act of futility for morons. It's theater for the naive. So I don't even believe the results that come out of what I saw in the year 2020 when it was very evident they were shutting down Democrat mafia-controlled areas to steal the election. So when we see the results of the Islamo-Nazi in Michigan, poppycock. He won because they wanted him to win. What I think is more important is the 85% of this country in the form of counties that they have never been able to steal because they are governed by decent people who oversee the county election systems. I'm more interested in how to save the 85% because this corrupted, motivated, envious 15%, it can take down a country. After all, that's the only amount of communist thieves that were commies in Russia before it became the Soviet Union. It's even a smaller percentage in Cuba. They were 6%, and they overtook Cuba. So we have to be very diligent in sequestering and keeping away the liability of having these degenerates in your society, don't you think?
Yes. Well, you remind me of an expression that I have. The forces of evil are good at being evil, and the forces of good are bad at being good. And so we have to close the gap. We, the forces of good, have to become much, much better in fighting the forces of evil, because the forces of evil are vicious, even if they're, as you mentioned, 2%, 5%, 10% of the population. They're determined criminals, and they're determined to steal whatever they can steal, and if they can steal elections, it then gives them the right to steal the budget of the city or town or the state or the country. And so your point's very well taken.
And the issue of what we face and how societies have faced it before, even ours, and we've been able to combat it. The linchpin to the problems we have is Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the deliverer of American communism through this form of backdoor nationalization of health care through Obamacare. Most people didn't understand what it was. He went out there and sold it. And now we are, 10 years or 14 years from the time it was implemented. And those chickens have come home to roost, to quote Reverend Wright. And you're in this position where companies have gone out of business. Small businesses have been destroyed. Individuals have been cast into some form of economic distress because they've been paying this astronomical increase intended to happen during Obamacare and the backdoor nature. So you've weakened the good to where they're complacent, and now they're more susceptible to go on to the very problem that kills society, which is communism in the form of Medicaid and Medicare. Correct?
Yes, but it's worse. Remember I mentioned the three enemies or groups of enemies that we face are the reds, the greens, and the blues. President Obama was the reds, the greens, and the blues.
Yes.
In other words, he was the chosen agent of our foreign enemies. Again, the reds, greens, and blues, communists, Islamists, globalists. And he was basically their agent. And he, every time he made a decision, and I also saw this during the Biden administration, which I believe was Obama's third term, that every time there was a decision, I say, wait a minute, that decision is good for the Reds or for the communists. Oh no, that decision is good for the Greens. Oh, yeah, it's good for the Blues. Why don't they ever make a decision that's good for Americans? And so after I saw all the decisions go for the bad guys, I realized that Obama was the personification of the bad guys.
Well, I agree with that, and I will see that point, but I'm going to raise you, Kenneth. You ready for this? I'm going to raise you.
Okay.
Who is he? He's not from Chicago. He doesn't know the bulls from his elbow. Who really is he? He is the stepson of Lolo Soetoro. Lolo Soetoro, who was the CIA asset in Indonesia, the number 2 richest man in Indonesia. Lolo Soetoro was the asset of not just the CIA, but George Bush Sr. So he was cultivated to be exactly who he was. So the only thing that I disagree with you is you said he was the asset of enemies foreign. Oh, no. I think he was the asset of enemies domestic in George Bush Sr. And if you trace back the CIA to the interwoven life of, back then, Barry Soetoro, and you realize why he was dropped off in the mafia capital of America, known as Chicago, then it really makes sense. But who else was he? He was raised under the guise of Islamo-Nazi, just not because he liked the taste of Border Collie, but because he's sympathetic, and that was his native religion. And when you and I, and only the people who are motivated to understand what this cult is, crack open the crayon and read it, we're the only ones that understand the principle of it and what its intention is. It's not to coexist. It's not to cultivate. It's not even to do anything as far as motivate people to join you. It's to intimidate and to conquer. And you know what's interesting? They're brash now. Because I'm going to play you an imam in Detroit, Michigan. All right? I want you to listen to this kid who is an imam. Listen to this.
We lie and we cheat and we claim things that are not part of Islam. And guess what? Not all of them are dumb. They can tell when we lie. They can tell when someone sits behind it that says, Islam is peace. Islam is about peace. Why are you afraid to tell the people the truth? Don't you think this kafir is going to open the Quran, read Surah Al-Anfal, and he's going to come across these ayat, the military ayat, which you've been trying to hide? Then what are you going to do?
So he confesses. It's a front. It's a lie. The whole notion, it's a religion of peace, only leads to the destruction Israel has been aware of since its inception, and that anybody who combats this cult has always understood since the creation of this country. That's our first war. It's with the Barbary pirates. It's still going on. And you know, when you see that they've now partnered with the socialist and the communist, meaning the American Democrat, the only answer I can come up with is to secede from these areas and stifle them up, because like every Chicago Democrat, they cannot finance themselves. We bear the liability of their corruption, whether it's through Obamacare or just the cost of floating their life. However, there has to be an answer in our documentation called the Constitution, isn't there? I thought this was all illegal socialism.
Well, there's a number of ways to answer the question, but let me answer it this way. The Civil War that we had, 1861 to 1865, we thought that the forces of good, namely the North, defeated the forces of evil, namely the South, under the leadership of Abraham Lincoln, who in effect died to save our Union. That war that we thought was over is not over. The Confederates changed their name to Democrats. They moved north to like where you live, and they act like the Confederates, that they pretend they had nothing to do with 160 or so years ago. So I would argue we're still fighting the Civil War of 1861-65, because even though we thought the North won, the South didn't give up. They didn't properly surrender. There were never trials of the Confederates in the seceding from the Union. We never punished them other than through the war. And so we're still fighting the Civil War, and they've taken over the northern states, and now they want to go after the central states and the southern states and complete their takeover of America.
Well, they also have cohorts in the opposition, what is supposed to be the opposition party, as they always have. You know, this is the thing, being from Illinois, the land of Lincoln, as it's called. Never forget, he's an Illinois attorney. There's a corruption there now happening of cut me in or cut it out, the old gangster politics, where if you spread the wealth, you cut in enough Democrats, you have the illusion of opposition, but you basically have a party set up to roll over. And in the off chance too many citizens have turned out, and you have to admit that maybe the Democrat didn't win, when the Republican gets in a position of power, he governs like a Democrat. And I could point to Bruce Rauner, who was the governor of Illinois. But this is the case in all of these mafia strongholds, whether it's New York State, New Jersey State, or Illinois or California, sadly now. That's the saddest one. But I still believe that through the knowledge of what we're combating, whether it is the fraud of the religion of peace, whether it is the pretend word called communism, or the made-up philosophy called socialism, ultimately we still control, in theory, the money. However, I am aware that they have somehow detached financial responsibility and created $30 trillion in debt since Barack Obama was late on his car payment in Chicago. How can we reel that back in? And do you see optimism with Scott Bessent being very aware of this. The fraud that is being explained, and people are being indicted through the expansion of Obamacare and Medicare and Medicaid and all the Islamo-Nazis that have been stealing our money in Minnesota and around the country. Are you optimistic now that you see finally the government taking a stand when it comes to the way in which we've been financing our very demise?
Yes, the seeds are there for us to fix this mess, and we're very reliant on President Trump, and because he's like the Lincoln figure, to put the country back together again. The challenge President Trump has is there's 1,000 problems.
Yes.
And can you do 1,000 things at the same time? So he's overwhelmed with all the issues he has to contend with, and that makes life difficult. But the other silver lining is we the people. There was a relatively famous movie 40 years ago, maybe some you and others remember, called Network. And in that movie, Network, there was a famous scene where the lead actor sticks his head out the window in Manhattan, pretending people could hear him, and he says, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore." So basically, we have to wait till the American public, town by town, city by city, gets as mad as hell and not going to take it anymore, and overwhelm the odds of the criminals controlling the city and the state to reassert the power of we the people.
Yes, but I agree with you. And I think the difference then versus now is that, number one, Faye Dunaway was an actual woman who was gorgeous, not a transvestite. And William Holden was the leading man who was willing to take a back seat to the unattractive Peter Finch. Don't you think that's the real difference, the character and the knowledge of the American citizen versus these walking zombies we have now?
That's right. Now, by the way, we the people saved the country with President Trump when he was elected 2 years ago. So that was an example of we the people showing up. Now in the northern states, we need we the people of Chicago, of Illinois, and all the Democrat criminal states to get as mad as hell and show up and fix this mess.
Well, they also need to break the iron grip of corruption that is controlling the options of who runs for office. It's a real storm of corruption that they're combating. So it's more than an uphill. Plus, a lot of the people are Floridians now, such as myself. But there's issues at hand where some people did take advantage of the one option left, where you're seeing that in New York at an unprecedented rate. You're seeing it in California. You're seeing it in New Jersey. So I do think there is the one thing when you're making history, you never really know it. And the beauty of Trump is twofold. Number one, he was never ran for dog catcher. His first office he ran for was the president. He won it. Number two, he is a creative thinker and understands the most important asset we really have is property rights. And I think we have just the right guy here to redraw the American map, which has never been talked about, not to any consequence, since prior to the Civil War. However, I still think it's a viable option to redraw these states and let the wonderful people trapped in Illinois become another state. Well, whoever said we have to have rules the way they lay it out? Instead of 50 states, give me 100. Instead of 435 congressmen, I'll take 900 congressmen. Give me 200 senators. Why not? Why not clog it up the way they like to clog it up to take it over? Why don't we clog it up to stop it?
Yes, that's a good point. Another point is President Trump, I think, should get involved with the Justice Department and FBI and start investigating, indicting, arresting certain governors, certain mayors of Democrat criminal states, and start sending a message to the Democrat criminal organization that the federal government is as mad as hell and not going to take it anymore, and start putting the fear of God into these pagan mayors and governors.
Oh, I like that. And I say that as a former, I have my family as Vikings, Norwegians, but I like your use of the word pagan. I also would like to know, you spent a large part of your life in the arena of healthcare, correct?
Right.
It was really something to see how people rolled over when they were paying 10% of what they pay now for services. that system and that line of universal health care, it's amazing how it's worked. Why is it people can't decide or understand? You're not paying for the health care of your children. You're paying the health care of your enemy. Universal health care, to give health care to people who want to destroy my country from within, makes about as much sense as financing Iran. Why are they afraid to talk about it, in your opinion?
Well, bear in mind, everyone's focused on the one job that they do, whether they're a doctor, or an electrician, radio announcer. We all have one job to focus on. When you ask people their opinion about some of the other 100 issues or professions that they're not acquainted with, you don't expect a professional, analytical response, okay? And so that's why it's easy for people to be bamboozled, because they're doing the one thing they know how to do, and they're feeding the family and paying the mortgage and sending the kids to school. Most people just don't have that much extra time left over.
Kenneth, this is my part-time job. This is what happens when you do not treat ADD. Now that we've doped all the kids, they can only do one thing. We should take them off the dope, don't you think?
Yes.
Thank you.
TikTok.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Kenneth Abramowitz, for what you do, for the writing of the book, The Multi-Front War. Where's the best place to keep an eye on everything Kenneth Abramowitz and how to put up this fight to save Western civilization?
Yeah, everyone should look at my website, SaveTheWest.com. There's a pop-up menu. Sign up. It's complimentary. I write an article every 2 weeks, and you can follow my thinking all the time for free.
I love it.
SaveTheWest.com.
Thank you for making time, Kenneth. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great to be with you.
We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and last year I hired Level 10 Coatings to give my garage floor a total makeover, and I am loving it. It still looks great, shiny, and clean. Level 10 Coatings. Now, you've got to call these guys if your garage floor is cracked, stained, still covered in salt. Don't live like that. Get it done now so you can enjoy it this summer. Level 10 Coatings. They're fast, reliable, and highly professional. Guess what? I went to work. When I came home, it was done. A shiny, new, gleaming garage floor. A quick, easy fix, and it's guaranteed never to chip or peel. Why? It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is much better than epoxy. So schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com, or call 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
This is Captain Baker from the Sheriff's Office.
Hello, officer.
We have a report of missing employees at Hassleus Mattress.
That's right.
You're confessing?
Yes, I'm confessing that Hassleus Mattress showrooms are employee-free.
Come again?
Shop for Beauty Rest and Sealy Posturepedic without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Sounds suspicious.
That's how we keep our prices way low.
How low?
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599. But Hassleus has it for just $794. Plus, similar savings on Sealy Posturepedic and more.
That's criminally low.
And through Monday, trade in your old mattress and take $248 off a queen and $348 off a king.
You wouldn't lie to a cop, would you?
Free next day delivery, too.
Dispatch, I need a police escort for a Hassleus mattress delivery truck to my house.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassleus.com.
As the real estate values implode, as Illinois now has 82 ghost towns. You know, some of those ghost towns, people who left, people who closed businesses, they left fixtures in there that they had no idea are worth a tremendous amount of money today. All you have to do before you do anything, if you inherit something, if you're about to close a business, if you're thinking about tearing your house down to just pay vacant land taxes the way we would do it in Melrose Park, call 815-923-7000. That's the phone number for Donley Auctions. You can also get them online at donleyauctions.com. You would be amazed at the cost and to replace some of the items you take for granted, some of the items your grandfather left you. If it's his old war jacket, worth a tremendous amount of money. And don't forget, they also sell guns, rifles, cannons, as they are a state and federal licensed arms dealer. Go to DonleyAuctions.com to check it out. Even something as trivial as a lamp that was in your aunt's house that looked nice, you remember when you were a kid, that may be a Tiffany lamp. If it's advertising from a business that was closed due to Democrat moron policies, where the people said it's not even worth it to be in this auto part business, do you have Petroliana advertising? Tremendous amount of value in that. Even if it's a gun shop, anything that reminds you of when America was not infiltrated by the Third Reich, the Fourth Reich, the communists that are now calling themselves Democrats, odds are it's tremendously valuable. A license plate Randy Donnelly was able to sell for $30,000. The widow thought her husband was just having a little affair. He kept going around collecting license plates. Left her a fortune. She wouldn't have known it if she didn't call 815-923-7000. Online, DonleyAuctions.com. Union, Illinois is a beautiful place. It's nothing like Shirakistan, nothing like Crooked County. If you have an opportunity, and Randy Donnelly is going to have an auction, he opens up the museum, which is really what it is. Take the kids. It's a museum where you can buy things, bicycles, cars, boats. You name it, it's there, even motorcycles. Take a look at Donnelly Auctions. If you have a question, what's it worth? Call 815-923-7000. When we get back, I'm going to go to the lines. Terry in Shirakistan will be first. 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun, in our QC Kinetics newsroom. Tonight, cloudy, humid, maybe a heavy thunderstorm with a low of 68. Illinois State Police continue investigating after 2 were killed in a crash along I-88 in Aurora near Eola Road Wednesday morning. A teenage boy is dead after being struck and killed by a truck while riding an e-scooter on Chicago's north side this week. There have been at least 3 scooter or e-bike deaths in the Chicago area in 2026. Michigan Democrats now have their Senate nominee, Abdul El-Sayed, the winner of the state's Democrat Senate primary.
The former public health official ran on a populist platform, campaigning on Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, and touting endorsements from progressives, including Bernie Sanders.
Sayed defeated establishment Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Chipotle Mexican Grill voluntarily removing jalapenos from its restaurants nationwide after a Minnesota salmonella outbreak. The news, a service of the AM 560 store. T-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. Next news at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the evening commute with Jill Urchak.
No problems on the outbound Edens, the Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 55 minutes. Inbound Eisenhower, Crasher racing off to the side, hour and 10 going in, back out at 1 hour. Stevenson, an accident inbound at Cass Avenue in the left lane, 48 in the reverse at 40. On the Dan Ryan downtown to 95th, a half hour, tighten the express lanes, 35th out to Marquette. Heavy up on Ford with construction, 115th down to 159th. And delays remain along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Tri-State South is heavy. Northbound looks better. Jane Addams and Reagan are clear. And southbound 355 on the snug side. Westbound 80 jammed. Briggs to the Des Plaines River Bridge. This report is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect cloudy skies with high humidity and a chance of a thunderstorm. These storms may bring heavy rainfall, increasing the risk of flash flooding, particularly in cities. The temperature will drop to 68 degrees. Moving into Thursday, there will be intervals of sunshine with a passing shower. It'll remain humid with a high of 79 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Regular no lead in Lake County is $3.79 a gallon at the Love's Travel Stop on Route 41 in Wadsworth, $3.94 a gallon at the Sam's Club on Grand Avenue in Gurnee, and $3.97 a gallon at the Murphy USA on Route 83 in Round Lake Beach.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1796, George Washington made one of the most consequential decisions in American history. He chose not to seek a third term as president. So why does that matter? Because America was not built on permanent rulers. It was built on ordered liberty. Faith teaches that authority is a stewardship, not a possession. Leaders are accountable to God for how they use power. And why does that still matter today? Because republics survive when leaders respect limits and citizens defend them. Washington's lesson still stands. A republic is preserved when power has limits, and public service remains a duty to God and country, not a path to personal rule.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Got a large collection? We'll make it fit in your wallet. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
That's 2. Or I'm sorry, 3. Hillary Clinton also wants to get rid of the Electoral College. You see, when you understand the American scum mafia Democrat, they have tells. They'll tell you what they're afraid of. You just have to listen with the right ear. Pete Buttigieg, side saddle sissy. His only qualification is the same as Kamala Harris. He's a hornswoggler. That's it.
Which I actually think is something we need. And you scrap the Electoral College? Totally. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is one where it just is a matter of basic, fundamental fairness. Yep. I don't see how you get to the idea that any one voter should have a greater vote than another voter.
The Electoral College states just that, you simpleton. When you get enough scum in an area, let's say Chicago, the kind of scum who can't pay their rent, I want to pay for their food, get food stamps, they sell it for heroin, then when cops pull them over, the other wretches come out and they save the heroin addict.
Jumping out on him for? What are y'all jumping out on him for? He's walking. He's walking.
See, now these are 2 scumbags. 2 scumbags, or as the Democrats call them, the base. And the idea that you just have 2 million on welfare, 2 million Chicagoans that we're buying lunch, breakfast, and dinner for. You don't get to offset the decent who just want you to stay in Chicago. Just stay where you are. Fence it off. That's why the Electoral College is brilliant. So they'll tell you, if you just listen real hard, Hornswoggler number 2.
What about the Electoral College?
I think we need to look at that too. Yes. Yes, I do.
Because it's clear to me.
Now, she's a lawyer, which makes it even more of a tell. She knows that the whole premise of the country is that if you get enough concentrated scum on the take, like Democrats in a small area like Chicago, they don't offset Indiana. See, that's the beauty of it. So I couldn't help but notice there's no such thing as a scandal, whether it's the Hornswoggler number 2, Kamala Harris and downtown Willie Brown, getting paid 3 times as her fellow workers as she's stooping Willie Brown, or it's Pete Buttigieg, mayor of Ghetto. That's his big qualification, Hornswoggler number 1. Do you remember his best friend, the Maryland mayor? You remember him? That's the scum. His other qualification was that he was a Hornswoggler, and he got caught with child porn. However, to get elected, they used to partner on their campaign ads.
Early this morning, the Prince George's County Police Department's investigators arrested a College Park man for possession and distribution of child pornography. The suspect is 47-year-old Patrick Woyan. On February 17th, 2023, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notified the Prince George's County Police that a social media account operating in the county possessed and distributed suspected child pornography. The image and videos had been uploaded to the social media account in January of 2023. Through various investigative techniques, PGPD investigators discovered the social media account belonged to Mr. Patrick Woyan. On February 28th, 2023, Prince George's County Police detectives served a search warrant at Woyan's College Park home.
No, that's another Democrat woman singing. Oh, they love to sing. We got more singing going on by these freakazoids.
Investigators recovered multiple cell phones, a storage device, a tablet, and a computer. Following additional investigation, PGPD obtained criminal charges against Woyan, and investigators took him into custody early.
He pled because he didn't want to see. He didn't want the federal government to see who else he was in contact with the child porn. Both proponents, supporters, facilitators of human trafficking from the border. All the Democrats loved when the illegal aliens sent the kids.
What you see happening is it's a program at first, yes. There is a deliberate effort to resettle the Somali refugees by groups like Catholic Charities. So Catholic Charities makes a huge amount of money moving people, migrants, around to places in the country that don't necessarily vote to have that happen. You might, by one lens, you might consider Catholic Charities to be a human trafficking organization.
I do. Put me down with that, squirrel. And that Chirla, all financed by us. Both of them.
According to Chirla's tax filing from fiscal 2023, the group reported receiving about $34 million in government grants. In its capacity as a legal services provider, Chirla helps illegal immigrants, including those convicted of crimes, avoid deportation. Grant records show that Homeland Security, the very agency Chirla's protesting, has awarded the anti-deportation group several six-figure grants since 2014 as part of an immigration aid program that financially supports organizations actively working to remove barriers to naturalization.
Well, here's another new barrier for you low-rent, low-life pedophile scum that you are. Big Donnie and the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, that is being obstructed by low-life thief Republicans like Tillis and Cornyn. They said, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to revoke all that nonsense to get criminals out of my country.
Developing this morning, the Trump administration is putting anyone who lied their way into American citizenship on notice. The Justice Department is coming to take it back. In the largest coordinated denaturalization push in DOJ history, the department has filed civil cases seeking to strip the naturalized citizenship status of 25 immigrants accused of crimes ranging from attempted murder and identity fraud to child sexual abuse. The defendant.
For the first time in 70 years, the scum, illegal alien pedophile cartel member is a little bit nervous. Terry, Shirekistan.
Hey, Shaun, I just wanted to say two things that'll piggyback off that guy saying about the Confederacy policies are still going on. The first thing is there used to be a Fugitive Slave Act. That's where Dred Scott was brought back from being a free state into a slave. Well, there was a bounty on it, too. Now what they're doing is they're doing it with billionaires. Same policy. If you flee from California or New York to Florida or a free state, they're going after your assets as if you were a slave. The second thing is Juneteenth was when the Confederacy never told the slaves that they were free by the Emancipation Proclamation. Now you have the Democrats, 26 states, warehousing illegals until they can use them for voting or to sway the populace. They're warehousing them, and it's the same thing. They're hiding the knowledge like Juneteenth, but now for the illegals. And that's why I say the Confederacy's never changed. It was the Democrats, and that was Jim Crow, and that was the KKK.
I like it. Way to tie it together. Very, very good. Paul Carey.
Hey, Shaun, I want to posit a question for you. With the advent of this AI, how come we never hear about the elimination of upwards of 60% of government jobs that are in the office, handing this paper to that guy and this paper handed to this guy and so forth? I mean, by estimation, we could eliminate all these jobs that are unfulfilled, and
that's Brandon Johnson
by not allowing the illegals inside. Shaun, these highly skilled government workers could certainly fill all these jobs in the private sector.
It would be great, wouldn't it? Of course not. And that's why Brandon Johnson brags about he had 9,000 moron suck-ons to walk around and shuffle paper. But Paul, take solace in the fact the federal government has never had this few employees since 1966. Did you know that? Donald Trump has fired
I'm aware of that. Thank God for Trump.
Thank God. Yeah, but this is once again, listen, this is the scam. This is what these mafia towns do. They give their friends, their moron cousins, jobs and contracts. This is why you can't live among them, brother. What do you want from me?
Before you hang up, Shaun, listen, I got a neighbor friend of mine, okay? I always drop bombshells on you. I got a neighbor friend of mine. He doesn't like it to be known too much that he works for the government. Lo and behold, this guy's out mowing his lawn in the middle of the day and bringing in the garbage cans and walking the dog. And I'm like, how is this even possible? I mean,
because you don't have to go to work. They're called ghost jobs, brother. Come on. You know how many guys right now are walking around the east coast of Florida, retired from the city of Chicago? They didn't even know what warehouse they were supposed to go to. They don't even know how to lie. You used to give your boss, see the way it worked from the 30s, you give your boss a third of their daily pay, and you don't go to work. Come on, that's how the Democrats keep getting Democrats. Thank you very much. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's Shaun Thompson. One day it's market volatility. The next day it's conflict overseas. Price jumps, confidence drops, and suddenly retirement feels less certain. When the latest headline pushes costs higher and stokes inflation fears, it can have a ripple effect on your investments and your budget. But here's the thing. Retirement shouldn't depend on perfect timing or on the latest geopolitical noise. Tom Fortino and the Alpha Wealth Group help families right here in the Chicago area build a plan to create income you can't outlive, control taxes, minimize risk, protect your assets, and prepare an estate and legacy plan. It's their 5-pillar retirement planning. Ready to learn more? To get your complimentary retirement roadmap and a retirement analysis today, schedule a meeting with Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group by calling 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711, or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical, regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
AM 560, The Answer.
We gave up complete and total operational control of the border, which means literally making decisions on who and what is coming in our country. We gave that to the cartels, and it was by policy decisions. So I had almost a 30-year career, started as a frontline agent, worked my way up. But I joined the Border Patrol, honestly, I really didn't even know about illegal immigration. When I joined the Border Patrol, all we talked about in Arizona at that point in time was narcotics smuggling across the border because that was the threat of the day. So all we talk about today, it seems like most of the time in the news anyways, is the illegal immigration aspect. And we lose the fact that the cartel just uses the illegal aliens to shape the border and bring in any threat that they want.
It's fascinating about this whole thing with the cartels. What Trump has done to bring to heel these scum, these scourge, these drug-dealing rats is absolutely fantastic, and he continues to do so.
Breaking news, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, along with federal and local law enforcement officials, have announced enforcement action against the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as the CJNG. That cartel is a top supplier of illicit fentanyl in the United States, and it's one of Mexico's most powerful and ruthless criminal organizations.
Where do they launder the money, Squirrel? Do you know where? The same banks that deplatformed Trump. The same banks that deplatform Republicans, that deplatform our non-for-profit organizations, our pro-life organizations. The same fracking banks. They love the Somalian thief money. They love the Chinese national thief money that they steal from our Medicare and Medicaid. They love and loved the cartel money.
Did you know one of the world's biggest banks helped Mexican drug cartels launder $881 billion while executives literally joked about it? For over a decade, HSBC deliberately ignored every red flag in the book. Cartels were depositing millions in cash through boxes designed to fit perfectly through teller windows. The bank's own compliance officers warned that Mexican branches were processing more U.S. dollars than some small countries. But executives chose profits over people. Internal emails later revealed managers joking about their failures to stop money laundering. They knew this money was funding violence, kidnappings, and murders across Mexico. Yet they kept the cash flowing. And
you know what else it funds? Democrats scum in this country. It has for decades. From Bill Clinton, Mena, Arkansas, all the rest of these scum. And I always said the FBI sat on all the evidence of the Clintons, all the evidence of the foundation, all the evidence of that crack-smoking degenerate Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. If only we could get some of the transcripts. Who's blocking it? Republicans.
I'm going to go back to being a reporter for a second. I do not know this information from anything I've gained in government. I can tell you with 100% certainty that Republicans are obstructing the investigation into weaponization. There are two Republicans I can name by name, Senator John Thune and Senator Tom Cotton.
Wow, that's a surprise. Not really. Check the war chests. We'll be back.
Maybe you've thought about taking a cruise. Maybe you've even talked yourself out of it. But this is not just another vacation. This is the Gulf of America cruise. 7 days through the Caribbean with Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, Jennifer Horn, and a ship full of people who love this country. No packing and unpacking, no complicated planning, just great destinations, meaningful conversations, and a once-in-a-generation celebration of America's 250th. This November, be there. Text CRUISE to 94878 to book your cabin today.
You know that feeling when you call your insurance company and you know that you're getting put into queue? Nobody wants to go through that, specifically Tommy and TJ Iaquinta with Class A Insurance. They're a father and son team built right here in Chicago's southwest suburbs on one idea: treat people like family. See, because they're independent, they're not stuck in pushing one company policy on you, one company rates on you. They shop the best carriers in the country, names you'd recognize, and find coverage that actually fits your life, your home, your car, even your boat and motorcycle. That's why they've been named one of the top 25 home insurance agencies in Chicago. 2 generations, 1 agency, and clients that stick with them for years. When something happens and claims happen, Tommy or TJ is the one who picks up the phone and walks you through the process themselves. If you're paying for a policy you don't understand from a company you never talk to, it's simple. Head to 560insurance.com. That's 560insurance.com. Get a free quote in minutes at 560insurance.com.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you seen those Russian floating folk dancers that look like they're gliding on air?
Impressive. They kind of resemble the Brody table at Penny Mustard.
You're right.
And these upholstered caster dining chairs look like they're also gliding on air. Here, I'll show you.
Be careful.
Watch out!
I never was a very good dancer.
The Brody table, paired with 4 caster dining chairs, starting at $64.22 at Penny Mustard.
Now open in Algonquin.
PennyMustard.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
See, yesterday, Squirrel, I took the gains from the Dow Jones to the Russell. I didn't include the 10-year. I took the gains, I added it up. I said this country gained 1.6 to 1.7 trillion in wealth. You know who I didn't talk to? Scott the Cow Guy Shality. You know who I'm going to talk to? Scott the Cow Guy Shality. Because whether it has to do with cash equities, commodities, financial products on 3 main continents, he's appeared on Fox Business, CNBC, BBC, CNN, Sky TV, Fox
Negotiations
News.
Proceeding. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Iran and Oman, which is negotiating on behalf of the U.S., say they're close to a deal on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway is critical for oil tankers to pass through. As President Trump, during a speech in Nevada this afternoon, again said negotiations are ongoing.
We were all set for the biggest attack since World War II, and they called me and they said, please don't do it. Let's talk. And then they said, we never said that.
The president again saying Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. The FAA investigating after a commercial jet was in the air at Reagan National Airport as Marine One, the chopper that carries the president, was taking off yesterday.
The FAA says it was not a serious close call. Quote, based on our preliminary safety review, there was momentary loss of separation, after which the aircraft continued to move away from one another. The air traffic controller was in contact with both the commercial pilot and Marine One pilot during the loss of separation. A White House spokesman downplayed any danger to Mr. Trump, noting, quote, Marine One flights are piloted by some of the best aviators in the world, and at no point was the president in harm's way.
Fox's Mike Emanuel at Reagan National Airport. Enhanced safety measures have been put in place at Reagan National since the January 2025 deadly crash between a military chopper and a commercial jet that killed 67 people. Michigan Democrats have narrowly chosen progressive Abdul al-Sayed as their choice to face Republican Mike Rogers in the race for Senate this fall.
While campaigning, al-Sayed repeatedly criticized the Israeli government and AIPAC spending to oppose his candidacy. In a statement, Rogers says, quote, this election isn't just about choosing a senator. It's about deciding whether Michigan has a future built on common sense or whether we hand the keys to the most fringe extremists in the nation.
Fox's Rich Edson. America's listening to Fox News.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here's another look at the roads. Kennedy going out downtown to O'Hare. That's an hour while the outbound Eden still looks good. Crews on the scene of a crash inbound Eisenhower at Racine in the right lane. That's slowing down from Homan, hour and 20. On the inbound side, outbound Eisenhower 1 hour, back out to 390. Stevenson in, a crash at Cast in the left lane, slowing from Lamont. Outbound trip 55 to 355. Dan Ryan out 30. Tighten the Express 35th to Marquette. Heavy conditions on DuSable Lakeshore Drive still both directions, southbound Tri-State and southbound 355. Those remain snug. Other tollways, though, are in good shape. This report is a service of Fox Valley Coins. No waiting, no problems. No charge for in-store verbal appraisals. Bring your gold or silver in today, foxvalleycoins.com. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm possible, which could bring heavy downpours leading to flash flooding, especially in urban areas. The low will be 68. Thursday will have intervals of bright sunshine with a passing shower, remaining humid. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Why does Progressive help support truckers? Because truckers unite the world. Truckers unite whistles and lifeguards. Truckers unite fitness devices with people who don't exercise. Truckers unite your aunt with those live, laugh, love signs. But truckers can't do any of this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive helps safe truckers save an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1796, George Washington made one of the most consequential decisions in American history. He chose not to seek a third term as president. So why does that matter? Because America was not built on permanent rulers. It was built on ordered liberty. Faith teaches that authority is a stewardship, not a possession. Leaders are accountable to God for how they use power. And why does that still matter today? Because republics survive when leaders respect limits and citizens defend them. Washington's lesson still stands. A republic is preserved when power has limits. And public service remains a duty to God and country, not a path to personal rule.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is The Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Why would I ask one of the foremost intellects on everything technical trading, cash equities, commodities, financial products on 3 main continents? Why would I bog him down with some moronic question about Chicago finance? There's no finance. It's frickin' bankrupt. It's always been bankrupt. Look at Illinois. Look at Cook County. Completely bankrupt. You add in grant money and reimbursements, you got $70 billion. The state budget's only $57. What's that mean? That means they're on a doom loop. Why would I ask this brilliant bastard that question? He's too good for that question. He's Scott the Cowguy Shelley. How are you, sexy?
Good late afternoon to you, brother. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's, it's something to watch because we pretend that it's like big news. Ooh, communist is elected. Well, what the hell is a Democrat? I've never known the difference between an American Democrat who promises free housing, free food, free healthcare, free, and a socialist communist. What the hell's the difference? The good news is in America, you can at least separate the liability in theory. But when you start to see the minutia of how much money is being stolen through these entitlements, it's staggering, isn't it?
It is staggering. And, first of all, the litmus test is this, Shaun. It's the Democratic Socialists of America, DSA. Could you ever imagine something being called the Republican Socialists of America? It just wouldn't happen. So you're right. They are one and the same. The problem is that this far left of left is they're espousing the things that they think are kitchen table issues, lower food prices, lower fuel, Medicaid for all, those types of things. But you have to take those with the other stuff. Get rid of the presidency, get rid of the Senate, sack the court, get rid of ICE. Those are the things that come with that. And if you hate your country that much, have at it. But I tell you what, I cannot believe it's not being dismissed out of hand.
Well, I can't believe it's not being sequestered financially, and the liability of the cost of these degenerate lowlifes, just stopping it. And that, to me, is how you control petulant little children, which is what this philosophy is. This is a petulant, childish lie and the true face of greed. These are people who want to steal other people's money, whether it's in the form directly or in debt indirectly. And we now know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's always going to be us, the capitalist, the American, that does better. The markets yesterday, I calculated, I'm just using the old point system of wealth to a nation. When you look at the Dow Jones rally 1,000 points and you add up the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and all the rest of it, I figure it's about $1.6 trillion this country gained in wealth yesterday. Am I off?
No, you're right. That's all right. I mean, yeah. And that's, look, we've got record earnings. The revenues are fantastic. We've got manufacturing that's booming. I just think the Republicans have done a really bad job of driving that home. I mean, they're getting beat on some of the ground game, which is food prices and fuel prices. They have to do a better job. They've got a little bit of time here, but they haven't really capitalized on their successes. I know Trump's trying to do that right now, but still, they need to get going.
You can never do it in a mafia area because the people are unaware and they're uneducated and they're uninterested in the fact that if you live among these thieves calling themselves Democrats, the taxes on taxes, the percentage taxes on taxes at multi-levels of distribution of everything from fuel to groceries to everything else, let alone insurance and housing, is through the roof. Well, the equity in those entities goes lower. So you're talking to people in Illinois versus people in Tennessee. Those are two totally different conversations. Oh. And therein lies the problem, right? They're two different countries, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely different countries. But here, I just want to pound this. Yeah, they are 100% different. It's amazing. I mean, I have stories for you that just 1950 America stories that happened to me in Nashville that would never, ever, haven't happened in Chicago since 1950. I mean, good old-fashioned stuff. It's not, nothing untoward, but just your America, the America that I grew up with, Norman Rockwellian America, that you just don't have happening north of the Mason-Dixon line anymore. However, what I can't stand is that they'll do anything for power. So if they think they can get elected as a democratic socialist, they'll start to espouse those views to get in power. Now, every Democrat pundit out there is like, no, they're talking about all the kitchen table issues. Yeah, but if you vote for them, you have to also be voting for the other things I just said, which are scary, with getting rid of the presidency, the Senate, packing the courts, getting rid of ICE and a lot. I can go on. So these people, just for power, are proving to us all that they hate Trump more than they love America. Bottom line.
Oh, this is, yeah. Well, how about the talk by all the hornswogglers, whether it's Pete Buttigieg or Kamala Harris, they're going to get rid of the Electoral College. And, it's a fascinating admission is what it is, because what they're doing is a declaration of war. There is no way you can vote out the principles of the republic. You are declaring war on the structures of government, which I think the Republicans should move forward with this. I really do. Are you talking to me? It's time for the "are you talking to me" talk. Because now when you declare war on the republic, you are an enemy of the state and you will be treated as such. I don't give a rip if you pretend you're going to be a senator or a congressman or whatever the hell you are. You're residing in a place that's known to perpetrate and protect theft. Every one of these areas. Chicago is not a city. It is a fiefdom, and they know it. Do you know that I have a clip on the board of J.B. Pritzker yesterday, a fat bastard, never bought a sandwich in his life with his own money, always Grandpa Abe's. He's talking about taking the taxes down on school supplies. There are 4 Chicago schools that threw out school supplies because they already bought them with the $33,000. They literally threw them in the garbage can. It's unbelievable how they openly steal the fracking money, how they waste it, how they lie and they cheat and they steal. So you're now declaring a war on my republic, which is supposed to protect me from your fiefdoms? Now really cut off the money. I'm talking about zero. My offer to you is this: nothing. What do you think?
I love it. I can't wait to see what happens in November because, I mean, there's a lot of disaffected voters out there. The numbers are coming in from this Al-Sayed that got elected in Michigan. They're saying that it was the white, liberal, educated women that really put him in office rather than the rest of the electorate, which I find, I don't know if I should find that surprising or not, but it wasn't something, I wasn't expecting that.
First of all, did you ever look at these women? Your boxer shorts would be snug. Your boxer shorts are snug on them, all right? They think orgasm is a planet next to Mars. They don't know. Think they give a frack about capitalism? Healthcare is through the roof on these broads. They got lumps on it. They can't even identify. Is that a lymphoma? Who knows? They want it taken out for free. So that's who they're using for the excuse. But when you look at the numbers, you're going to tell me 1.6 million morons in Michigan just voted for Democrats yesterday? Never forget, these are the areas that have been stealing elections since the dailies pretended to be businessmen.
Right. Yeah, I get it. And so I'll be really excited and interested to see how this all plays out because it's a disaster. This is an absolute disaster that's happened to the Democratic Party because they've let them in and they're being, it's a Trojan horse. They've been eaten from the inside out. And let's see how many people, this thing ensnares because at the end of the day, I cannot believe the arrogance of these people that they think that they know more than our framers. They think that they know more than the people that wrote the Declaration of Independence. Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris think that they know more than the people that started this great American experiment. It's absolutely farcical, and I would be embarrassed to be them and say that.
Scott, in all seriousness, when I say, and I have it on my phone, you've called my phone. If you're don't leave a message if you're a Democrat. To me, if you admit to supporting these philosophies, these policies, this framework of fraud and greed and lies, you do not have the fundamental understanding of any economics. None. Zero. I don't think an American Democrat actually understands Econ 101. I don't think they could pass a test to get in to Econ 101. I mean, there is no real philosophy of socialism. There is no philosophy of communism. There is no philosophy that keeps Chicago public schools afloat. It is literally the justified extortion and theft of other people's money. That's what an American Democrat is. So you're not going to argue or win an argument. There is no argument. The proof is in the pudding. And as you see, the trillions of dollars that have been stolen during the last 5 years with Biden, the scamdemic of COVID and the reality of hundreds of billions, if not more, that have gone to very specific Democrat fiefdoms to bail them out because it was about to be exposed about how bad everything was because the first Trump administration, everyone was kicking ass economically, all the decent people. It was only these indecent areas that were out of the closet for being fraudulent. So COVID comes, you shut the society down, you flood these areas with trillions of dollars. Now the money's gone. And so now we're going to have this phony, it's a rise of communism, when it could all be stopped if the Treasury just shuts it off. And when you look at Flushing, Queens, did you see in one block they're stealing $121 million, all Chinese nationals, all saying that they have senior daycare, the same thing as Minnesota, only they have little tiny offices. They said they got 25,000 people in there they're treating. I mean, we got the guy that could shut it off. Just shut it off. My offer to you is shut the money off. I mean, that's the greatest way to really expose it, isn't it?
I know, and then they come over to our country. They're naturalized. They're here for 8 years, and they steal everything and send it back to where they came from. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I could never in a million years ever think that this could be the case. But you know what? I never thought in a million years that a man would want to play in a women's sport either. I mean, I don't know what's happened to our morals in this country, but I tell you what, we need to look ourselves in the mirror because this is ridiculous. You know, Mom Tommy's been in the country for 8 years, and he's going to tell me how to be an American. I can't believe it.
I blame Viagra. You gave all these old Democrats, made them pretend they could still be men. The root of all problems. You know, when you look at the money that flows to all these enemies, China specifically, whether they're in bed with the cartels, they're in bed with the Islamo-Nazis, they've got their assets, their communist members stealing our entitlements, there's never any outcry of the money that is being funneled to China. However, when they decided to buy the yen, what was that, 2 days ago? It was a big outcry. I was watching CNBC and everything. They were all upset. You're breaking the rules. You can't help another country with the currency. Why is it we can't help Japan, but we can help China? I can't figure that out.
Well, I mean, they don't understand the severity of the issue. Somebody needs to sit them down. But all we were doing was we were selling euros to buy the yen to help prop the yen up, because if they were left to Japan to prop their own currency up, they needed to raise cash to do that. And the way they raise cash to do that is they're the biggest holder of our treasuries. So they would have to sell an ungodly amount of U.S. treasuries into the market, and all those people that were complaining about us helping another country would suddenly have a 12% mortgage.
They don't know that. No one talked about that. Just keep that on the down low. But what I love about the trade, is you were able to dump Euro trash. When you look at Europe is in a worse pickle than fracking Detroit or Chirac. Let's dump that all day long. What took so long? And now dump every euro you have. I would implode that market. You see they're collapsing. They're communists. They're socialists. The Islamo-Nazis have infiltrated. Why do we even hold any euros anymore?
I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, and the interest rates stink, and they're a bigger risk than we are. It's crazy how that's working out. But I tell you, just look what happened between Morocco and Spain, that little inlet that Spain owns over there. That's because they haven't taken care of their immigration issue. Thank God we got a hold of ours when we did, because we're going that same way. This global elite, it starts with the World Economic Forum, the WEF, and that Klaus Schwab guy. All of those Democrats think that they're smarter than the rest of the world. And you know what? It was Christmas when they got that COVID, because globally, they dumped $22 trillion into Western economies, and they didn't give anybody anything to spend it on. So we dumped $22 trillion in 1 year into these global Western economies and blew the roof off of everything, and they stole, I don't know how much.
They stole the money. They stole it all. Let's start at 80% and work up. What else is fascinating? That we're not getting any info other than, a couple of news junkies such as ourselves. I never liked that whole Syria Islamo-Nazi Taliban leader pig that our government had a bounty on his head for $12 million if we killed him. Then all of a sudden they pluck him, they put him in a Brooks Brothers suit. He's the president of Syria. They're about to invade Iraq right now. I don't know if you saw that. Today, yesterday, and 3 days ago, they have lined the Iraqi border with the Syrian, I guess, government army, which means terrorists to me, and they're going to invade Iraq. That could cause a pickle into the Middle East conflict that will be underreported, because you could always blame America and Iran when Iran is a fraction of what it used to be as far as global strength. But Iraq, we tried to pretend they were civilized after we threw it up for grabs and then pretended they have a government. That could add a lot of upward pressure to the base product of the most important commodity in the world called oil, couldn't it?
Yes, and that would be inflationary, and that your interest rates go up again. I mean, there's a lot of those risks out there. Yes, I have seen that. And that Middle East, it's like getting involved with just a nest full of cockroaches. It's hard to get rid of them all. And once you think you have everything put to bed, they come out and they bomb something that you never. I mean, there's never going to be a deal. It's only going to be one thing that they respect, and that's strength. So I don't know how we're going to handle that, but signing a piece of paper means nothing to them. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, I do believe that if they can't have a nuclear, nuclear weapons, and if they did, they would have used it by now, I'm sure.
Do you know what the GDP of Syria is? $65 billion. You look at the GDP of these so-called countries. They're smaller than all of our top 5 companies. These are countries. The other side of the coin is, How do they even exist at this particular point? When you look at what their only source of revenue is, they don't have any form of capitalism. They're like Detroit. They don't have any form of businesses. They're like Chicago. So you just have the fact that they've been able to expose the product called oil to the world market, and we pretend they're a legitimate country. At a certain point, we now are exporters. We now have all of this stuff. Why don't we really do a Trump austerity? Seal the fracking borders of not just oil, not just natural gas, but of money, and sweat them out like the bust-out scumbags they are. What do you think?
I agree, but you've got a democracy here where people scream when we get rid of USAID, when we're giving money for transgender birthday parties in libraries in different countries. I mean, how are people getting upset about that? So, I mean, can you imagine if they get upset about drag shows on military bases in foreign countries? What are they going to do when he says, "I'm not letting any dollars go out of the country"? They're going to have a heart attack. I mean, I just don't see. These people almost have a death wish.
But that is on the table. I mean, if he really, I mean, he could, with Besant, with the success of our markets as they are, with the success of
Besant
and the boom belt, outside of these Democrat areas. I mean, it's hard, right? Because we're talking primarily to people who are trapped in these hubs of extortion and where the decent people are always punished. But outside of these Democrat states, these other states are kicking ass. If you seal the borders and you allow the good states, the ones that aren't squeezing their people with energy costs and corruption and monopolies, you could really solve so much of the problems both outside and inside. I'm really starting to think it's time for Trump austerity and do the that favorite movie with Mel Gibson, Mad Max with Tina Turner, embargo. Shut it all down. What do you think, Master Blaster?
Escape from the North. Yeah, you're exactly right. It could be another Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken. Yeah,
but I mean, think about what you got. You got these states kicking out oil now that never kicked out oil. You've got natural gas. You've got nuclear. I mean, Illinois is a great example of a suicide policies that have brought it to a hub. In World War II, it was one of the top 5 oil producers. I think it was number 3. We've got oil. We had natural gas. You've got the highest concentration of nuclear facilities, nuclear plants in any state than in Illinois. It's number 1. It's all self-induced policy, corruption, manipulation, and political crime.
I didn't know that. Is it all shut down? What's going on?
Yeah, they shut it down. I think it's 14 nuclear reactors, nuclear sites. 12 or 14. I'm getting old now. But they in World War II, they were the 3rd highest oil-producing state was Illinois. You've got natural gas, insane. Illinois was a hub of money and capitalism and decent, legitimate businesses. All the Democrat mafia from Chirac shut it down, clamped it down. They regulated them into poverty and futility because none of their communism works unless the people are softened up. When they're poor, hey, you mean I don't have to pay my electric bill? Whatever. Just go ahead. I just got to pretend J.B. Pritzker does not have camel toe? Okay, I'll pretend. What do you think?
I've heard that's good. That's good. Well, I mean, yeah. Look, Brandon Johnson can solve it all for you. You just have to have patience.
Yes, he's a visionary. Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
Oh,
but he looks like when his eyes are wide open like that, I can't believe it.
Listen to this. Now, keep in mind, this is the bum. Think about you tell your family, look, we're going to have to go on a payment plan for the water. All right, but now he's a messiah of sorts.
The people of Chicago want and called for a visionary. That's what I reflect. We have put forth a path of how we build safe and affordable communities by investing in people. And that's what I'm doing. And as long as, I continue to do that, we'll find the right people who can execute my vision.
If that was a company and you had stock in it, you would call for everybody who runs it to be arrested. That's Enron. Chicago is Enron, only worse. The people can't read who run it. That's the real difference. By the way, did you see Ben Crump trying to read his medical report, the medical exam for the guy he's trying to represent racism? Did you read it? Did you see it?
No, I did not.
Oh, Scott. You got to see Ben Crump try to read. It's good. It's like watching Brandon Johnson try to govern. Funny and sad. Thank you for always making time for me, sexy. What's on the show tomorrow?
I'm going to do a good news show. I mean, we've got U.S. manufacturing is going through the roof. We've had fantastic earnings and revenues reported this S&P quarterly period. So there's a lot of great stuff going on. I just want to start getting the message out because I don't think the Republicans are doing a good enough job doing it.
Yeah, and you got to focus on the point of the common denominator in all of these areas where things are going on that are great. There isn't a Chicago
100%.
Democrat to be seen. Scott Shelley is
11 Southeast states, $9 trillion GDP annually.
That's fantastic. Thanks for always making time for me, and enjoy the barbecue. You're going to do barbecue? I'm deciding fish or barbecue. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, RFD TV tomorrow at 12. I'll take it all. Give me the left side. Scott Shelley, Scott the Cow Guy, thank you very much for making time, brother. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
Don't miss Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn every Sunday from 11 to 12. Robert has a different way of looking at retirement from most financial advisors and is happy to share his ideas with you every week. So don't miss what he has to say. Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn, Sunday mornings from 11 to 12 on AM 560 The Answer.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Signature, a division of Esquire Bank, offers Chicago businesses relationship-first banking. Signature knows your name and your story because personalized banking still matters. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature is where I do my business banking.
Hi, I'm Tony Patrick, CEO of Total Wall and a client of Signature. We produce high-performance materials used in exterior insulating finish systems and other stucco applications. During a recent business transaction, I learned quickly that having the right banking partner matters. Signature stepped in, took time to understand my business needs, and kept things moving. If you need a banking partner you can rely on, look for a team with real experience and a commitment to your success. For me, that's Signature.
Signature helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature, a division of Esquire Bank, at 773-467-5600 or visit signature.esquirebank.com. Esquire Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you look at CWB, when you watch the news, when you look at the news in DuPage County, when you look around the area that was once our great city, you understand how dangerous, how open and notorious thieves can be. If you're securing a home, a retail business, a warehouse, or a condominium, 708-889-5600 is the number you need to make that property secure. Securing all real estate is what GoldilocksInc.com specializes in. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. Their security system is just right. It can take an old home and make it a smart home. Smart locks, cameras all around the property line. You will never, ever have to ask again, did I lock the door of my old bungalow that wasn't a good neighborhood? Now the ghetto snipe have total control. And the prosecutors in the Cook County so-called justice system will let them out over and over and over again. Goldilocks monitors that property 24 hours, alerting both the current and the local authorities and you, which is my favorite part, where you can come out with your axe handle and do what needs to be done. GoldilocksInc.com or call 708-889-5600. Mention you heard it on my show. 3 months free monitoring. If it's a warehouse, they'll even create the doors. Secure doors. Doors of quality, the likes of which nobody has seen outside of 40 years of Goldilocks success. And if you're running a business, you have to give access to certain crews, different people, cleaners that you may suspect are stealing. Turn on the access, turn off the access. Commercial access, all through GoldilocksInc.com. Family-owned business for 40 years, employing 40 decent Illinoisans, securing property of the decent against the indecent at GoldilocksInc.com. When we get back, 312-642-5600. Greg doesn't like our austerity program. Shut it down! Embargo! We'll discuss that and more after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, a heavy thunderstorm and a low of 68. The second person has been sentenced to prison following a multi-year human trafficking investigation in Lake County. Prosecutors say Jose Puga, 52, of Wonder Lake, was sentenced to 22 years on 2 felony charges in a case involving a then 15-year-old girl. Chrysler is recalling over 1 million of its Ram 1500 trucks, all due to a seatbelt defect for vehicles introduced between 2019 and 2026. Michigan Democrats now have their Senate nominee, Abdul El-Sayed, defeating establishment-supported Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Tensions remain high in the Middle East.
In an interview with Fox News, the president said that talks happened all day on Tuesday and that things are looking very good. The focus remains on the Strait of Hormuz, a critical international waterway that handles roughly 20% of the world's oil and LNG trade.
The first-place White Sox try to bounce back tonight at Fenway. The news, a service of Staples. Officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents. 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers. Staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy. Your next news update is at 7. And up next, a check of your evening commute. In the traffic center, here's Jill Urchek.
We start with the outbound Edens, which is fine. On the Kennedy, out to O'Hare from the Chamberlain interchange, just under an hour. Eisenhower clear to crash in at Racine. It's an hour going in. The reverse, also an hour. Stevenson, 15 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive, out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Accident reported outbound Ryan at 18th. 25 to get out to 95th. It is tight in the Express, 35th to Marquette. Ford still heavy out, 115th to Sibley with roadwork. To Saba Lakeshore Drive, heavy either way. Southbound 355, southbound Tri-State, those remain busy. Other tollways look good. In westbound 8094, a crash at Central in the right lane. This report is the service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect cloudy skies with high humidity and a chance of a thunderstorm. These storms may bring heavy rainfall, increasing the risk of flash flooding, particularly in cities. The temperature will drop to 68 degrees. Moving into Thursday, there will be intervals of sunshine with a passing shower. It'll remain humid with a high of 79 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
It's hard to deny the constant attack of negative emotions that flood us online. The fear, anxiety, worry, and confusion that come from the constant stream of news and social media can be overwhelming. There is a way to escape this never-ending cycle and find peace, hope, and joy in your daily life. Christianity.com, with a wide range of daily devotionals, biblical answers to life's toughest questions, and insightful Bible study articles from your favorite pastors and authors on current events and issues, Christianity.com provides a little heaven on earth. Go to Christianity.com now.
MyPillow is celebrating our country's 250th anniversary with savings up to 50% off their made-in-the-USA products. For example, get the queen-size premium MyPillow for $18.98 and the king-size for just $1 more. Get body pillows with a free pillowcase for only $39.98. Get the MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99 and $80 off the MyCross. All made right here in the USA. But there is so much more. In fact, they have over 200 products. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Chicago or call 800-489-0201 to check out all of the great products they are offering. Get everything from MyPillow blankets, sleepwear, kitchen towels, mattresses, duvets, pet beds, comforters, couch pillows, bathrobes, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code Chicago to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling a collection or just the high-end antiques? Get top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
We now, thanks to Donald Trump, produce 23.6 million barrels of oil a day. 23.6. We export because of regulation. We import because of regulation, specifically these Democrat moron dunghole states like California, the state that circumvents all American rules, all Americans import-export. California specifically says they must, in California, import 4% of all oil from Iran. Gee, that sounds counterproductive. That's why you can't really live among them if you understand they're not on America's side. If you're on America's side, it's very simple. My offer to you is this: nothing.
Who run Bartertown? Who run Bartertown?
You know who.
Say.
Master Blaster.
Say loud.
Master Blaster.
Master.
Now, replace Master Blaster with Trump and Bartertown with the world.
Blaster? What?
Master Blaster runs Bartertown.
Louder.
Master Blaster runs Bartertown.
Lift embargo.
And until they say it loud, don't lift the embargo. Greg LaGrange.
Hey, Shaun. I have 3 points. First of all, let's talk about this embargo thing. I don't believe you can shut down trade with other nations. My problem that I have right now is, why are we exporting more oil outside our borders to foreign nations than we need to be, especially since we have higher gas costs here. So let me just finish that point by saying, hey, if the states that don't want to turn over their voting rolls or want to be sanctuary states or any of this other crap where they're running fraud, then go after them legally and shut them down. They don't get anything. You have to shut them down. I agree with you on that, but I don't understand why
Texas
reserve is run down. And I don't understand why we can't get a handle on more gas here and get the prices down.
Because it's regulated to cripple the citizens. Why, in fact, does Illinois put 87 to $1.10 in taxes on the gallon of gas when Indiana doesn't or other? Because they're keeping you poor. You understand? Because now you're bended knee. And now you'll tolerate Governor Camel Toe and asshat Brandon Johnson and the thief Chris Welch, the scum frauds that they are. You'll tolerate it. How many people know that Illinois has 14 nuclear facilities? 14. They only admit that they operate 6 because they shut down the rest through regulation. How many know that it was an oil-producing state? Illinois, during World War II, was the number 3 or number 4 oil-producing state in the country. Now you can produce nothing. You think Darren Bailey knows that? Where in the world is Darren Bailey? What about the natural gas in Illinois? And why is it that they sequester areas to give monopolies to companies that have been caught, adjudicated, and convicted of bribing in bed with Democrats in Chicago? And who's in control of the energy? All the same companies. Because the people are illiterate, economic morons, or they're in on it. That's the other side of the coin, Greg. Got a lot of guys in on that scam. Those are called the unions. How you doing? 4 unions gave Silky G, who not only lost $73 million in the 529 plans for the people who were putting away money for their kids, ran a gangster half-ass bank and did a fracking ground. And just because he goes in the steam room with a couple of Barack Obama sissies, he's the lead candidate, and he's running under what, an economic fix? You're asking me? That's why you can't, that's why I give you the advice I give you, babe. This is self-induced poverty in Democrat dunghole areas. And the money that's come onshore, the $19 trillion of commitments that's already started, not a one of it in a state that's run by a Democrat, those facilities now would be circumvented from the Trump austerity program implemented by me. What do you think?
That's fine. I understand. I think that we need to go after the states that are non-compliant with federal statutes and laws. Absolutely. And for those of us in this state, we have to make a decision. Do we want to stay or do we want to go? To me, it's very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. You can't allow somebody to be oppressive and come over the top of you and take more of your money as you get older and your costs go up. It's just insane. Here's the other thing. Here's another point. A couple other points real quick. I think we dismissed this whole DSA thing. I think, we don't have to win the argument, Shaun. I agree with you. There is no argument for it. But what we have to do collectively is win elections. Well, you can't allow these clown shows to win the governorship of Wisconsin or continue on. You have to address it head on.
First of all,
if the people vote for it in the state, then you get what you deserve.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. Right now, Squirrel is on one of the social media sites, and somebody said, more people would listen to your show if you didn't insist Chicago stole the 1960 election. So you want me to deny the truth? When you talk about these elections, you're going to win them. That entire state has a wink and a nod. They get anything done. They steal the fracking anything. They steal your eye teeth. How many people know between the grants and the federal subsidies that Illinois gets more than its entire budget? Where's the money? Because the wink and the nod guys steal the money, and they prefer it that way. But it's only a handful of counties, Greg. You want to know what I really think? I don't want everybody to move. No. I want people to utilize what this Constitution, what this country is built on. Your right to cut bait and run without moving. You should be able to secede from these corrupt counties. That's always the answer. And you know who the cowboy is to do it? Donald John Trump is the one to do it. I listen to people who are politicians. Oh, it's never going to happen. Why is it never going to happen? Why do you just accept the lines the way they are? These people are captured. If you're outside of Cook and DuPage and a couple of these crooked rat Democrat counties, you're captured by this. You're the one that produces the oil, the natural gas with the nuclear sites. You can't do jack because the Chicago mafia controls the state. Donald Trump and the federal government have an obligation to you to save you from the corruption that steals the elections and that people have celebrated for generations. So I don't pretend Minnesota has an election any more than I do Wisconsin. You watch 2020 here.
An expert looking at just at numbers and that there are in mid-21 voter rolls 569,277 total registrations with the application date of January 1st, 1918. That is 1 out of every 14 voters in the system. So, if you're Wisconsin, go out in your street, look up and down the street. You probably have at least one person there, but at least in...
That's Wisconsin. So what are you going to do? You're going to pretend that the commie's going to win? The other thing is, there's no difference between a Daily Democrat and this yabba-dabba-doo who just won in Michigan. No difference, except facial hair.
Once they get a hold of the federal positions, that's going to be a bigger problem as they grow in power, if they grow in power. Last thing I want to say real quick. Here's my biggest problem with this administration. I don't like market makers. I don't like guys that speak in public, make declarations, and make announcements on things and make the market. It's just not right. I believe this administration...
Fade it, babe.
Wait, let me just say, I want them to continue on negotiating or doing what they have to do with Iran and get this thing solved, because we need it solved, but don't put it out in public. People are tired of it.
Iran, yeah, I agree with that. But Iran, in the grand scheme of the world economy, isn't a pimple on the ass of a donkey. Means nothing. Their entire GDP is less than half of Walmart. Just like Syria, just like the rest of them. They exist because we pretend they exist. Shut the money off tomorrow. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Picture this. Bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded. 2 outs. And the IRS is on the hill throwing nothing but heat and chin music. Back taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens. You're down in the count. Time to call in a pinch hitter. At PJN Tax Solutions Group, we are your pinch hitter. We deal with the revenue officers so you don't have to. PJN Tax Solutions Group is a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. When the IRS tries to steal home with your paycheck, we throw them out. When they load the bases with bank levies and wage garnishments, we strike them out.
Strike 3, you're out.
It's a full count and the game is on the line. Are you stepping up alone or are you bringing in a professional? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group now, 630-415-5296. Again, 630-415-5296, or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
I know you've heard the line, we're on a mission from God. Here in Chicago, that means something. But for me, it's real. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I'm on a mission from God to help business owners achieve their American dream. Because every day I see the same thing, unfiled returns, confusing numbers, IRS letters stacking up, not because business owners are doing anything wrong, but because they're overwhelmed. Here's what I've learned after helping hundreds of business owners. There is always a solution, but you can't reach it until you take control. That's why I built a system to take you from chaos to control. Go to fightbacknow.com and get started. I'll show you exactly what to do, step by step. No guessing, no confusion, just a clear path forward. Go to fightbacknow.com and I'll send you my new book, Fight Back Now, Freedom Through Preparation. Just cover the shipping. I'll take care of the rest. Or if you want to talk to someone right now, call 312-664-6649. Fightbacknow.com, because chaos is the only thing standing in your way.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oklahoma got a little bit of a Muslim Molotov cocktail problem, huh, honey bunny? Would appear so. Before we go to good news, this is a story that is emblematic of the issues in Crooked County.
Oak Lawn man faces charges after being found with Molotov cocktails. Hamid El Saidi was arrested in Mokina on Saturday.
How did he do that? Didn't he just win the Senate race in Minnesota? Or, Michigan? Let me hear it again.
Oak Lawn man faces charges after being found with Molotov cocktails. Hamid El Saidi was arrested in Mokina on Saturday for walking in the street. Police say there they found the Molotov cocktails in his bag, along with a map of the area that included the Orland Park Prayer Center. Orland Park police say they're in close communication with Mokina police about possible threats to the mosque. The FBI now also involved.
Too bad he didn't have that Chicago lawyer.
I got my thing recorded. I got my shit recorded. Y'all jumped out on him for what? Y'all had no probable cause to jump out on him. He wasn't committing no crime. What are y'all jumping out on him for?
He's got Molotov cocktails in his backpack. Don't worry. Scumbags like scumbags. The good news is, the non-scumbags, we elect the best people.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, Mr. Attorney General, you got the floor. What are you doing?
That's great to be here. Well, just about an hour or two ago, we issued a formal subpoena to Dr. Fauci under Florida state law, seeking a breadth of documents ranging to what he knew, when he knew it, his doubts about the safety and efficacy of vaccines that he's out there promoting. And we're really focused in on his self-dealing. Evidence has come to light that he was trying to personally profit off of this. This is outside of his government duties, his official role. He's trying to pursue book deals, awards, get connected with high rollers that, might help him come into millions and millions of dollars. This is wrong, and it could go towards a deceptive trade practice, fraud, public nuisance, you name it. I think there's many aspects of Florida law that now are implicated.
So what's the evidence that you're pointing at here?
Well, a lot of it, he revealed himself in this diary. We've got communications, emails with subordinates where he's asking them to help work on applications for these awards. We know one award in particular, he made $900,000 on that. Again, this is separate and independent from his government salary.
Did you ever see Cool Hand Luke? Shaking the leaves, boss.
Hi, Josh. Thanks. All new at 5. Governor Ron DeSantis says he wants to label several groups as terrorist organizations under a new Florida law that just took effect. Governor DeSantis named the Council on American Islamic Relations, also known as CARE, the Muslim Brotherhood, and Antifa as groups that he's targeting. The law allows Florida law enforcement to recommend organizations for this label, but the state cabinet has to vote on it. We have investigative team.
Excellent. State cabinet votes next week.
Hi, Julie. There has been a big fight here in Texas between Governor Greg Abbott and the Muslim community after he designated the largest Muslim advocacy group as a foreign terrorist organization. So in North Texas, a Muslim community leader, Marwan Maroof here, is soon going to be...
You know what else about my area in Florida? You see a guy walking with a real thick beard and a backpack yelling, yabba dabba doo. We're pulling your ass over and you're going to jail. We'll be back in 21.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
In 1790,